Grit and tenacity. Insane clutch potential. If I had to describe the two teams that have made it here to grand finals, for the Mozzie members, I would say grit and tenacity. They have overcome long odds to be able to earn their spot here. And on the other side, the good fellas, I call them the burglars, the kings of organized crime. Their ability to just snatch rounds away in circumstances they had no business being able to absolutely impressed me, and I'm not at all surprised to see them make such a deep run in the tournament. I think we have an insane grand finals lined up here for the PAX Arena Almost Pro VALORANT 10K Open. My name is Albert Haloran Haley III. It's my pleasure to be your host. And before we jump into things, I just want to take a moment to personally say, no matter what's happened, at the end of the day, we are all on the same team. And this is just me speaking personally. We all care about competitive VALORANT. We all want to have a good time. We all want to see really good matches. And this is my first time getting a chance to host VALORANT. And everyone I've worked with in front of and behind the cameras, they've all been amazing. They've been professional, and they put their heart and soul into what they're doing. And I truly believe that, and I thank them for that. And on top of that, our two teams, no matter what's happened, they have earned their spot here. They have made it this far and overcome a lot of strong opposition to be able to make this play and to get here to the grand finals. So I'm hoping that everyone can join me in my excitement for the grand finals. Let's get into it, though. On the analyst desk, we're gonna have Bala, TW, Kura Haneko. Guys, we have an insane match ahead of us. Kura, you casted the game with Mozzie members, if my memory serves.
Yep.
And you saw firsthand how hard it was for them to find success consistently in game number one. Can you give us some insight to the grit and tenacity you saw in them to be able to ultimately take that series we saw them in on Thursday?
Yeah, for sure. So the whole thing I was talking about during that series was the adaptation that came out of Mozzie members. So I know they did fall in Haven, I believe 13-4, which was a pretty big gap. But then coming back from that, they're like, all right, we're adapting some strategies from Zero Marksman. We're going to use those flanks. We're going to make sure to at least look out for it. And they were able to shut down the KO in the next two maps. So I think that's going to be really important to look out for because Goodfellas does play a KO.
Yeah, and something to note too, they were behind on that second map. They were down 7-5 at the half. It pretty much went exactly the way of Haven, minus the extra rounds that they started occurring at the end of the half. So literally they came, you talk about grit and tenacity, that is exactly the story from beginning to end.
Yeah, I mean, mental fortitude is so important in a game like VALORANT. To have a game one like that where it's 13-4, and in an instance where I believe throughout the entire best of three, they kind of had the upper hand in the pistol round and a few ensuing rounds after that. So to fall behind and say all right, guys, let's brush this off. Let's get going. I think that's incredible. On the other side of that, though, Bala, TW on Icebox in particular, the good fellas, they were winning rounds that they truly had no business being able to win. Give us some insight on your thoughts about their clutch potential.
Yeah, I honestly think that stacking this team up against any of the teams that played, they have so much raw talent. You know what I'm saying? Fiend is absolutely nasty, cheat code. And then of course T-Dog as well, who popped off in a couple of those rounds that you're talking about. That is the type of thing I think that makes those rounds possible, is that individual skill, that raw talent.
And in a game like VALORANT, being able to just, put a round on your back is so incredibly important. So when you have a deep roster of 5 individuals that at any point can just have insane X Factor potential, you got a dangerous situation on your hands. Kura, out of the players on both of these teams, I think that there are a lot of standout players on the side of Goodfellas, T-Dog, like you mentioned, Bala, Fiend, absolute beast. I'm actually a really big fan of Cheat Code myself. Over on the side of Mozzie members, though, they are no slouches either. They have players like Zerk. Is there a player in particular that you're looking to have a really solid performance here today?
I'm actually going to be looking at Streets because as I remember before, the flanks, making sure to catch that out and just making sure that the team can just push on to whatever site they want without having to worry about their backs. I think that's honestly really, really important.
Yeah, I think he was one of the most selfless players in the entire tournament that I think I've seen. He's always there for his team, and he's always fulfilling the exact role that they need, right? Whether it's an anchor down on Ascent when he's playing that site. He is perfect at doing what he needs to do and staying alive just in the nick of time for his teams to get in there and get involved.
sometimes having that workhorse in your team that just, can always pull their weight and then show up when they need to, that just having that baseline set and you can rely on that is such a confidence builder. And I think we've seen that in play for that team overall. In terms of agent selection, we did see a good number of KO matches on Thursday, and I think every time that agent's value made itself readily apparent. Kura, how do you feel about KO in terms of these teams? You think we're going to see a lot of that here in the best of 5?
Oh yeah, I think that Goodfellas is going to be playing a KO on certain maps. Rather, Mozzie Members did not play KO at all, and I don't expect them to really pull it out in today because, again, I mean, they had one day. I don't know if somebody went and figured out all the strategies that they needed to, but I don't think so. But they didn't really have too much of a trouble with the KO kind of in map 2 and map 3. Map 1 was really difficult, maybe because they just didn't have the experience, and once they got that, it was all right. So I don't think they would be worried too much about that KO pick.
Bala, in terms of, tendencies between both of the teams, we've had instances where Mozzie members, the first few rounds, they come out of the gate strong, they somewhat fall behind, but then they turn things around and pull things out in the end. And against a team like the Goodfellas, I think that could be pretty difficult to do. Do you have any concerns about Mozzie members' ability to finish strong if they come out of the gate in a good position?
Yeah, no, I actually don't. I don't, and I'll tell you why. Because what I saw from them is they start turning the game plan and the entire how the rounds are going, and not forcing these really sketchy scuffed positions. They were putting themselves in winning positions from the start, right? Whether it's locking down a site, whether it's actually playing retake on the site and keeping them locked down into the site so they can clear it out with perfect retake and post-plan executes. That's the type of thing and style that I expect them to be doing if they come out to an early lead. However, if they don't manage to do that, if they aren't rolling like I'm talking about, that's where things will get dicey. If you leave Goodfellas in a position to be able to, take 2v2s, that's where I think they have the experience to really rise above.
That's such a good point. Bringing up the concept of the retake in a match for Mozzie members in particular, I feel like the concept of the retake was so integral to the success of either team in that match. Kura, do you think that trend will continue, where we're going to see teams play for the retake on defense?
I really think it will because, with all the fraggers on Goodfellas, you don't really want to engage in those 1v1s initially because if you're playing down with a 4v5 retake, you're at that disadvantage and definitely you do not want to do so. So if anything, if maybe we have someone playing down the site like Streets, you might just back off the site, let them have it, and then do that 5v5 retake.
Okay. Now one agent select that piqued my interest on Thursday was Astra. And I didn't see that agent do super, I won't say it didn't do well, but it's just you see an agent selected like that. I kind of want to see a play or a round or two where it's okay, that's why you took that character. And I didn't really have that moment. Bala, do you think we're going to see Astra in this best of 5?
No, I don't. I don't think either of these teams are super high on Astra at this point in the meta, even though, there's still arguments on whether or not it's going to be nice for them. But I think that Mozzie Members has a very solid way to play through, which is playing their Omen on a bunch of different players. Reprieve in specific, when he was on Ascent, and Omen in general, and Haven as well, he was making plays. He was making those TPs really, really work for his team. And then on the other side too, I think that Goodfellas, the way that they play, I think that Astra is going to be really hard to actually implement. Like we talked about, it takes a lot of utility coordination and synergy in order to make that agent work. And without that, then, it's not necessarily that agent is bad. It's just that, is it really worth it when you're not combining with a Killjoy or some Raise Nades or something like that?
Especially when there's a $10,000 prize pool on the line. I think we're going to see both teams' absolute A-game in terms of Haven. Let's take a look at the picks and bans to see where our teams are going to be taking us across this best of 5. Now, I want to give a congratulations to Kura Haneko. She unlocked an achievement of A Evil Cat titled Stat Nerd in terms of maps. So congratulations on that. How are you feeling about the map selections here?
All right, so what interests me is that Mozzie Memba actually banned Split. So I know that both of these teams don't ban Split. So I was kind of expecting like Split, Bind, and Breeze to just like go through and maybe have, let's say I didn't know it was Mozzie Memba's banning first, but Mozzie Memba's banning, I kind of expected them to ban either Ascent or Icebox because those two maps, even though both teams are really good and they have pretty high win percentages on those, I think they want to ban something that Goodfellas is good at.
Yeah, I think that, you know, when you have the first ban, you actually have a big opportunity to kind of pick the way that the maps are going to go and maybe come out with an advantage, maybe trying to force Goodfellas into picking Icebox. I think that is definitely an opportunity that you have. And maybe that's what happened. You know, maybe Mozzie Members has something else. I know for sure Reprieve on that Jet on Icebox was amazing. So, you know, we might have a really, really nice game ahead of us if this is how it's going to go. And then, of course, Ascent, Mozzie Members picked that. They were solid the entire way through. Haven is one that I'm a little sketchy on. I think we might actually, with the way that the maps go out, we might be seeing Breeze today.
Ooh.
At the very least, I hope, in terms of getting 5 games. One thing that sticks out for me that has me really excited is not only that Icebox is the first map of this best of 5, but that the Goodfellas selected it because they were turning rounds on this map in particular into an absolute 3-ring circus. So for me to see them select that and want to go there, I think we're going to see some of the real strengths of their team play come to life and be very apparent right at the gate. But one thing that is interesting to me is that pretty much all the map ban selections on Thursday kind of had the same back end in terms of a game 3 selection, whereas that's drifting up more towards the middle of the pack here. Curry, do you think that's a statement that some of these teams want to get to their comfort picks earlier on because they think they may not ever get the game 4 and 5?
That is what I think so, because as we said, Icebox and Ascent are probably both of these teams' strongest maps. So whoever comes out on top, if it's a 2-0 there, I think Haven is going to be the do or die. And if that other team does not win Haven, Breeze and Bind, I think those two really just are toss-ups.
Okay. In terms of retake and flanking, Paula, do you feel that there's a certain psychology being expressed in the maps that were selected in terms of their ordering? Do you think the teams are going to be looking for, you know, larger scale plays, swinging to one side of the map, one round swinging to the other, or you think teams are looking for a street fight pretty much?
You know, I think Goodfellas might be looking for that, right? They got the Italian Mafia, they're coming out swinging on the streets. I think maybe for sure. I honestly think that might be a plan of action for them. Just, you know, getting into those really, really, like you've been talking about the entire time, those gritty fights. That's the type of place that I think Goodfellas likes to lie. However, I also think that Icebox is just, you know, they're good maps. So I don't think they're really thinking about it at all. I think they're just like, yeah, we like Icebox. Let's play it. Let's go for it. You know, that's the type of thing that I think teams do a lot. Is just go for their good stuff. And I think that is the plan for both teams.
I really like that idea too. It's like, hey, we're both practiced. Let's just get in and go after it. Let's jump into the agent select portion of before we get into game number 1 here. And some of these selections already made with some conviction. Curry, do you have some early thoughts on what we're seeing so far?
I mean, this seems pretty standard on both sides. There's nothing that's really different except for the fact that, you know, they're playing mirror comps. So that's going to be exciting to see which team actually has, you know, potentially better Viper walls. I kind of like harp on this every time. I'm like, there are literally 4 Viper walls on Icebox. And I want to see something else.
Yeah,
I definitely go ahead, Ball.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I think that definitely has a large thing to do with how these Icebox mirrors go and how generally the core is the same anyways. You know, you have the Viper Sage and everything else is kind of like small adaptations or small little micro adjustments that the teams make. So, you know, having Reyna and Jets, yeah, it's gonna be identical. So that Viper walls and that's the single controller, right? The exact ones that you're using is going to determine a lot, and whoever can really get the edge out. I know that Mozzie members spent the exact same walls every single round on both sides, so Goodfellas has the opportunity to really take advantage of that, just like Kerr said.
I agree, man. And I also love that the comps are the same because both of our teams are saying, hey, we just want to play what's meta. Let's directly compete. Well, let's get into game number 1. We're going to pass it over to our casters, A Evil Cat, my boy Julius James. You guys ready for this first match?
Sound a little bit different. Well, I think Julius might be sounding a little bit different because it's Bala joining me in here. But Bala, man, I am excited to get into this matchup. Two fantastic teams, a best of 5 that who knows, definitely could go to this team. It looks like early on here, with this fantastic side, they're hitting their way straight on in towards me.
Already yellow control from us. Members, the double in a cheat code, and Rick Dad's already aware of it. Does he know there's 2? That's the big question. And does he know that they're falling back on to him? She goes really close. She gets one. And just out. And the other player up in the corner. Fiend gets knocked down, though, and that's going to be a 4v4 down mid. Full send. ARAM all the way, you know? Venture's still in the tube, though. And he only spots a leg.
Yeah, this is good information. I like that they instantly reassess and try and take the fight. 2 players in towards the A site, but it's a Hellfire inbound. T-Dog has to get something done here.
It's going to be cheat code instead for the 1D. Chef also combining. Streets will trade, and they're walking their way around the maze. 3v2, make it just 1. All up to Streets, but we've seen him do it before. He's already gotten 1! Make it a second. Venture's gone. 9 HP, and Chef is going to take the long ride around. Maybe try to fake it a little bit. 1 snake bite out to actually contain the space, and he's jumped up 20 seconds to recover the spike and to find his opponents. But his opponents found him. And there it is, pistol round for Goodfellas. But hey, right off the bat, he was scrappy.
Yeah, it definitely was. Mozzie Members definitely make me a little bit worried that they'd be able to pull off that ace for Streets, but it doesn't quite happen. Cheat code, I mean, he's just doing cheat code things. This is a guy who I feel like in that previous matchup we got to watch them was just hitting the shots right out the gate, was always finding impact for the squad, and immediately he's doing it again. Couple mistakes made, obviously, from Goodfellas. Maybe overswinging a little bit, maybe a bit of confidence coming in there, but regardless, they'll pull it off, and they have a stellar buy going into this second round. Vandal up for cheat code off of that 3K that he garnered in SMGs for everyone else. It should be a nice, easy round for the Goodfellas. Mozzie Members just looking for damage, maybe a spike plant down.
No delay here at all, though, and cheat code may be in a tough position. No, the dismiss makes it so easy for him, and this is going to be clean, Mimi. This is, like you said, easy rounds, and Fiend will clean up the last 2. Anti-eco was perfect.
I mean, they get the spike down. I think that's kind of a pretty good scenario for the Mozzie Members. They'll get that extra 300 creds injected into their bank account. But now we kind of have to look forward. What are we going to expect with them on the attacker side? They're a team that definitely likes to control this pace. They like to take things quickly. But I feel like up against a team like Goodfellas is a squad that strives in the mid-round, right? Like, they're really comfortable just holding on to their default, playing off that information. So the Mozzie Members are definitely going to have to work to deny that. And I'm not sure if the fast plays are going to be the solution. We'll have to see what they can come out with. And what they do have in this round is Streets Viper's Pit. His 4K on the pistol has garnered him that, so could go big if he can plop it down, especially over towards B, as there's only a sole defender in way of T-Dog.
And it's already a quick dash from Reprieve. I think he's already recognized the fact that it might be a sole defender. They're in front of the Viper wall, so nothing here to delay or deny the plant whatsoever, especially with this drone making their way out and spotting behind that wall. To be able to get the plant down, and the rotation from the back is already here.
He's just making himself a rat here, holding towards spawn. Cheat code, not going to be checking this. This is completely free. You might even get a little bit more. They have to deal with Streets before they can even find the site, and they will. Good from Seth. And T-Dog, still in a nice position. Bomb yet to be planted, but now it will come down. Can't quite break that Sage wall in time, so it's a 4v4 in the retake.
You know, I think Streets on the back line at least got 1. I think that would have been bare minimum for the rounds to be anywhere, because this spike took forever to go down. Nice tag from the Owl drone. More delay coming through. It's going to be both poison orbs on the spike right now. Seth is going to try to get the plant off, or the defuse off at the wall, but instead it breaks. And now it's all up to Venture. Taps it again. It's not half though, and there it is. Mozzie Members with the first gun round, and they pick up.
All things considered, not a terrible bonus for the side of Goodfellas. It was a pretty strong round for them because they still had that Vandal. They were able to take down the man holding towards spawn and dish some good damage on the spike defenders. But regardless, Mozzie Members, they'll claim a round. And they didn't even have to use the pit in that one, which is pretty good for them. They'll have that tool in their back pocket going forwards here. And, well, it seemed like what we were thinking might have been just a little bit wrong. They were just working that full 4-man execute. The kind of flank watch towards spawn, it got 1. That's kind of what you need. I imagine he won't do that again too soon because it has been noted, but the speed's really staying at pace. Full tilt towards the B site. This time there's a jet as well, and Fiend, good for the first.
Forget the gun advantage is kind of evened out as the bonus carries through for another gun round here. Fiend picks up a second, even though the res was in. It's basically the same look for Mozzie members, but they've been denied this time. Last time, because of the way that they played that eco rushing straight onto A, it kind of called a lot of defense over towards the A side. This time, a lot more spread, right?
Absolutely. Good information from Venture. He's able to read this rotation, so they'll send at least one over to aid the arena on site. But it was all just a bit of a fake. Mozzie members working back towards B, but this is what Goodfellas is strong at, right? Once we get into this mid-round, once we slow things down, they're rare to over-rotate. They're fine chilling out on the site, and we see it right here, right now. 3 players in a very quick proximity to B, and Seth will find the info.
Wall is up, but they've spammed it already. This is going to be very difficult for them to get the spike down, even considering T-Dog is here, and I believe he still has one more snake bite. Viper's Pit expended on this one too, and it's just the spray through over and over. Reprieve has gotten himself in a juicy position though, but nothing found. No shot. Oh, okay, he drops right through, but cheat code's denied. He gets in, dismiss out. Streets is gonna punish. Finally, we think we get the spike down. No. And that's not enough time, but he's in the smoke! That was so close for Seth, especially because he was taking the damage, the decay. He was literally 6 HP on that final fight.
Yeah, that came way, way too close. Another 1v1, but another 1v1 that's going to be won out by the Goodfellas. And, I mean, in that round, like, breaking that wall early on was so crucial. They never over-rotated. They had 3 players on the site, so they were able to completely spam it down. It wasn't even just one segment. That was completely gone. And then the pit was basically nullified because everywhere you can plant within that pit is wall bangable from safety. That's exactly what happened. And, well, it was good on the Mozzie members to get aggressive and try and shut that down. It wasn't enough. Now they're on a bit of a tough buy here, but Reprieve has the blade. So does Fiend, and he's cleared space towards mid.
Oh, he's going fast. Right over top of pipes. Cheat code is in the awesomeness position though. And he finds 1, 2. He might even go for the ace here. They're slowed on ton of front of Gen, but Brick Dad will put him down. And like happened on the second round, this anti-eco looks absolutely fantastic. Unless Shox has something to say about it. That's 1. He's got the sheriff. The drone out is going to make this very difficult though, unless he can find the peek on the chef. And he doesn't. So
Yeah,
3
nice
players.
little round. Keep it relatively clean, only a couple bodies lost. I think their Jet was, in way of Fiend, was just opting into the blade, so he'll likely be able to grab an operator in this round. And the operator for him was really impactful when we saw it in that previous semifinal matchup for this Goodfellas squad. It's a squad with so much individual potential, and once Feed can get that op online, he can really go huge. But this round's still definitely going to be tough. The eco has stayed a bit damaged, so T-Dog has the judge, but I doubt he's too worried about that. The guy likes to do a bit of ratty Viper things with that judge. And Fiend, look at this read. He's holding for the updraft dash, but it's not going to be happening this round.
When you do that, you do get exposed for quite some time. But Venture, knowing that the drone was just used for opposing Sova, he's going to insta-ult. Doesn't find anything, but that is just gorgeous from Cheat Code. What? Right into Nest. That's their Sage down, and now they don't even have the wall to plant.
This becomes a little bit tougher, seeing as there's really no refrag potential. Zerk has claimed some space off of the frag, and they reveal Cheat Code's position. He has to fight his way out here, but it's Reyna. Easy dismiss. Cheat Code, ooh, not quite all good. Zerk will shut down, but Venture's still in the back lines, and it's still man advantage with the Goodfellas.
But again, no Sage wall. Venture is able to hold this angle instead. Zerk will go up and top of Nest, though. No sound, and I think Chef might get caught unawares from that. Venture trade. Streets also in the back line. 2v2 now. Scrappy as always. Zerk's still alive, though. And he'll find another. 3 on the round. Fiend with the op, though, and he does finally take out Zerk. It's all up to just one more player up above. It's the Viper. And Spike is nowhere to be found for him. It's going to be the exact same situation as Pistol Round, essentially. Just hiding on top of 410 right now. Finally, he'll drop down, but Fiend's got the op trained on a position if he does want to peek, but he's worried about the flank now. This will give time to
10
plant,
seconds left.
but he taps it. So Fiend knows the situation. He's going to peek him anyways. He thought there was too many mind games going on there, Mimi. Way too much.
Yeah, way too much. Maybe overthinking it a tad, but that's really well played from Fiend, right? He knows that he can just train himself up on that angle, doesn't have to overpeak things because it was the glass cannon up, and he used the tailwind very, very early, so he didn't have that chance to overpeak and have a shot. He needed to hit it first try, so it's just really perfectly played by Fiend. And now if I'm the Mozzie members, these rounds are starting to hurt because, well, I think that's the third time it comes down to a very close 1v1.
Yep.
The Goodfellas just keep winning it. Now they have the momentum squarely behind them. And again, Mozzie members reset onto the safe, trying to get something done quick in towards the A site here. But Fiend again, operator in hands, he's so hard to contend with and shuts down Reprieve. The headshot for extra measure.
Oh, wow, he's nearsighted from the Lear too. These anti-ecos are just absolutely clinical when they do end up pushing towards A, but Zerk's got himself in an interesting position. Is Chef gonna get shut down twice in a row from this spot? No, he's ready for it. And you're talking about Fiend on this A site and him with the operator. How do you end up shutting him down? As this round ends, I see a Goodfellas that is literally starting to roll with the idea of Fiend just locking down an A site by himself.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one reason I think it's interesting that so few teams these days are playing Skye on this map. I feel like she's so powerful, and it makes shutting down those ops rather easy. But with a comp like we're seeing from the Mozzie members, what do they have in way of flashes? Just those Lears, and that can be tough to position it correctly to shut down the up. We saw in that last round, he didn't care that he was nearsighted. He was still able to find the shot regardless of that. So maybe one option is to try and have Reprieve work the op duel, but they just don't have the money right now. But Reprieve, he is finding good space here, quick up on top of Tube, so lots of pressure applied, but Spike's still not committed. This is a bit more of a default look for Mozzie members, and it worked strong at the beginning. Cheat code's down. That's a big name to take out the server.
That's massive. However, the big difference is they don't have that B lane control. You see that Viper wall for the first time, it feels like it's actually been used over on that B area. So can they capitalize on the early pick? That's the big question.
Still tucked in here towards the B side. They're trying to work this orb control. Oh, I think Fiend just maybe nearly saw him. Not quite sure. Still, it's information. The walk up towards A has been completed, and now the Spike joining this play. It'll likely fall to the retake, but Venture makes that a tad bit easier. And Fiend's position, he doesn't have the tailwind, but he's still holding this line. Could shut something down as Shocks finds the Sage.
And Fiend so aware of streets, potentially going for the flank. That's what he was so good at in the series against Zero Marksman. So it's going to be a 3v3 retake. No Viper, no post plan available, except for Sova's Hunter's Fury, but he's playing up on top of Pipe, so I don't even think that's something that they want to use. T-Dog on the flank as well, and he's already found Rick Dad in the backside, but Zerk gets one at least, and he whiffs! Oh no, he whiffs! Is not able to actually get it, and Rick Dad will punish anyways. Shocks there too. Finally, another round in the bag for Mozzie members off of a well-played initial pick and a good mid-round.
Yeah, that's a feels bad man for T-Dog. Just missing out on the shots when he needed them most. But like you mentioned, it was just such a strong start for Mozzie members. Maybe a bit of overextension from cheat code. It allows him to get picked off. And I thought that setup was interesting. I feel like they just had the read. They're like, it's going to be B 100%. So they commit their op in towards mid. They commit 2 players to hold and B main and leave it just to cheat code. And I mean, right, like he's the man for the job. But when you push up like that and then no one's there to pick up the lost space, it gets risky. Comes down to the retakes. And this time, Fiend's shot pays off.
About. That is what you're talking about. Instantly trained on the updraft dash. And that puts you in a kind of an awkward position as Jet. Sometimes you're really trying to take advantage of people playing close white. But he's just trained on it. T-Dog, though, playing the back of yellow. He could be isolated if it's well done here. But Fiend gets on top of the bomb box, too. Reprieve back up, and T-Dog is spotted. How does he get out of this? Play the poison orb? That's a possibility, no. Shock spams it through, and I think things will slow down before they speed up as Fiend's still up in the tower, though. And a second kill for him. He is really on fire. And once again, Venture, you call it out every time. This information is massive, and they're not actually covering with the poison orb there. There's a slight gap that he's able to look through every time.
And there's no way for them to really easily know that, right? For all they know, that could just be a spam. And look at Fiend going huge, and now cheat code holding close. Serene is here. He's ready to deny this entire play. Only 2 players remaining for the Mozzie members, and cheat code, he's still ready for more. Street shuts down in his Sage Wall to allow this plant safely, as well as that Viper World going out. The pit's up still. retake likely with the advantage of the good
Yeah,
fellas.
they heard him. I don't think they heard him. Fiend is going for it. No, they didn't.
Oh
The
my
Shox
god!
is gone, and Fiend is going for the ace. They've got to find the Viper, though. They already tapped the spike, not on it fully. He's going to drop the Viper's pit and go for the 1v4, and it doesn't work. Streets, unfortunately, is not having luck with these clutches, but that one was finally an unwinnable one.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a fiend round. Bala, like, I don't know what they're feeding this guy, but he is just absolutely going insane once an operator's in his hands. And, I mean, we talked about some of the options, but they have so little to easily shut him down. And when you pair that with what good information the good fellas have in every single one of these rounds, he can just always be in the right place at the right time. And it makes it's like it's such a feels bad man for Streets, because I don't think he's gonna know that poison orb doesn't hit correctly. Like he probably won't until he watches back the VODs, and he's just gonna be like, oh, that just sucks.
Yep. So unfortunate, and they're getting abused because of it. The only thing that they could learn, I think, is from context clues, but I don't even really think that Goodfellas is giving. Well, actually, I guess he is shooting them every single time. So here we go, another push for Zerk. Last time he was able to take good advantage, and he does it again. Him on this entry on this A site is probably the one saving grace. But also look at Reprieve. Look at him. Oh my goodness, Mimi, this is so much space.
And look, Seth back turned. He could get some free frags here. T-Dog does sniff him out, but I mean, Reprieve has all the information, and he's all the way deep towards Snowman. They have to deal with him immediately, and he has one. Dashes back. Mozzie Membas, they're looking so strong right now.
Yeah, and Chef doesn't even know that he's pushed it again. Another player on the back line. I think Chico might have made a noise because Reprieve is looking for him. And he's out of the mid lane just in time. There's another. As the recombo combines, he almost gets caught by Venture, who's just found himself another kill himself. Maybe make it a second. He's going for a 1v5 right now. Mimi. Reprieve, though, is also going for the ace. Just gets one shot off. Not fully onto him, and they're all literally looking down this lane. Reprieve walking up on him. I don't see a way out for this because Venture should not expect this. This is a really, really good play.
Sure, circumventing here. Wonder if he's considering trying to keep that up, but he has another 3 frags. If nothing else, like, Mozzie Membas is not good, right? Like, the round is going to be over. They will win and out, but that's so much damage dealt. Like, I feel like we need to see a little more discipline out of them to chill out once they have that man advantage, but I also don't 100% hate the push, because I feel like they've been playing a little too straight-laced, maybe getting in their own heads a bit, and this round they just played loose, right? They just let their individuals go, try and find these frags in the 1vx's, and I mean, it was Reprieve to go huge, it was the Reyna to start things off strong. I think that Mozzie Membas as a squad, they do best when they don't overthink it.
I was looking at the money situation too, and it looks kind of dire on the side of Goodfellas as well. But it's second to last round, so buy what you can. We'll see how it goes.
Get out of my way.
Alrighty, Vipers.
Go up here.
Oh, Venture also combining. The Viper's pit has kind of delayed them, but look at the top. No, T-Dog's found him with the judge. He was trying to get over top. That's usually the way that you counter the Viper's pit, but a little too early, I think.
And look at Fiend's off angle. He's up on top of the Sage Wall here. This is so hard to read into, and they have no idea. Zerk falls. He's trying to look for a second, but the rotation has been made. 3 players working in towards the B site, but Goodfellas fully aware of it. They'll send their way forward, and T-Dog's also pushing. There's an Owl drone up mid. They have all the info they could want here.
Oh, and you're right. T-Dog's got so much space. They literally know what's going on. The only thing that could happen is maybe Streets is, holding the flank or something like that, but in a man-down position already, you kind of doubt that, and they're being cautious no matter what. Finally, the wall goes down. Fiend almost gets the tap through it, but Shox almost caught him by playing over top of it, but that could have been dangerous in and of itself. So they will get it down and potentially be able to play post-plant. The flankers have actually become straight-on approaches, and Chef has found Shox to 2 persons now. It's just Streets, but we know what Streets can do, and Rick Dad as well. They've gotten it all the way down to even. Shock darts to delay a little bit more. He's watching the angle where Venture's coming from, and he's gone now too. Seth is not able to get it, and from what looked fantastic from Goodfellas, it falls apart.
Wow. They just get dismantled there, and it's Streets to do the dirty business. The Des highlighted him as such a man to watch, and they're absolutely right, because even when he's on the Viper, he knows how to use that utility. He knows how to just focus on his gun skill, find those frags, works perfectly in that round. I mean, Goodfellas, that really probably should have been their round to win. I think at one point it was just that 3v5 in the retake, but it felt like they overpeaked a little bit, took some individual duels that allowed Mozzie Members to even the odds, and now here and again they're picking up the pace. But look at this push. They're all down mid.
And based off of what has happened in multiple rounds now, I think they can pretty much guess that everybody's going towards B. This has been the key thing for Mozzie Members. So look at this. 4 players are going to come on their flank, and it's literally going to be them playing attack, while T-Dog is literally still playing defense. But Streets, how? How does he have this awareness to know? But it's 4 people on the barrage, and they're holding firm.
They not know? Are they double thinking this? No, they're still just holding. T-Dog's stall is so important. He needs to buy as much time as possible. I'm guessing they'll go off that spike tap. That's when they're likely to be most distracted, but Street's still holding this.
There they go through, and I think they know now. All players down at Yellow are going to be able to fight this. This is actually a firing range for them, and it doesn't work at all. Completely shut down. The res even makes it a 5 versus 1, and T-Dog is caught with his tail tucked behind his legs, as Reprieve will make it 7-5. 3 rounds in a row there for Mozzie Members. Goodfellas lost something that they had at the beginning of the half.
That's crazy that Streets was just holding that, man. I honestly can't believe it. We were like 30 seconds into the round, and he's already like, yup, they could be flanking. Who knows? But it was a really fantastic play towards the end. The Mozzie Members definitely bringing things back, and now they squarely have the momentum with them. They head on into their defensive side, normally the stronger side on this map, and if they can keep training these rounds together, they could very easily pull this map out of the bag. I think the early issues was that they just could never shut down that op of Fiend. They were always losing out on an early pick, but later on they kind of learned how to slow things down, adapt around it, and now both teams have another shot. It's Goodfellas on the attacking side, and it looks like a quick fake towards A. They're putting 3 here to pressure, and then the final play will be towards that B site spike plus T-Dog.
But Reprive's got a shorty up close, but Fiend just shuts him down. That's going to be the difference maker there, is Fiend versus Reprieve on the second half. And this fake is working, or is it? Shox has gotten the lane down, so he knows that they're falling back from A. And Streets is still here, the ever-present anchor for Mozzie Members. I think that Snakebite is going to miss just a little bit, yeah. So they get the spike down, but the wall is in their advantage. Fiend, though, on the flank. You could find a lot of value with this because nobody expects the kitchen flank. Shock's going to go for the half, though, and that might make the difference. Never mind. Oh, they go for the full defuse. Oh, no! They got it!
No way!
Mozzie Members full sticks! And they are so close to tying this up after that pistol round. What a play and what an idea. No noise, I think, is what cued them to just go for it.
That's insane. I think it was just the poison orb up. Slap that wall down, full stick it, full hold it. They were relying on that flank to deny the spike, but within that cloud, he wasn't able to see anything. That is absolute heartbreak for the Goodfellas. That is the most wrong this round could have gone. And now, I mean, this gives Mozzie Members a door right back in. They win that round. They're likely going to be able to take this one in the anti-ego. That'll even them 7-7. And then they have momentum. They're on defense and Reprieve. Dangerous game here with just the Ghost. But Zerk is in position to back him up.
It's a force round, so this is still dangerous. And Reprieve has only gotten the Ghost, like you said. So he's actually at a gun disadvantage after winning the pistol. Wall's going to go up again, but they're going to break it in quick work. Reprieve will go for it more, but cheat code is destroying them right now, and a Seth Stinger as well. Is there a flank? No. They have to fight this head on. Shox with a Bulldog. And on the other side, it's Streets. Both of these players have made good work throughout the game. Big problem, though. Shock darts on the side of Goodfellas, already playing over towards Belt. That's Venture. And this wall to get through. Shox is already through. Streets is going to go up. And he gets it. But long range is not going to work. And they get forced back and lose their anti after their pistol round.
Yeah, I mean, I love the call to force there. You get the spike down, you have a lot of money in your bank, especially off the amount of kills you managed to pull up. Why not force into it? Get something done. They'll never expect it, and well, that they did not. And I was just starting to try and kind of paint this picture where the Mazda members, they're able to pick that one up, and then they start to get the ball rolling, but that's like a hard stop.
Yep.
The reset onto the pistols this time, and even there's going to be a reinvestment out of Goodfellas. Putting a couple rifles into this, like they really don't want to give anything away here, and the A site seems to be the much easier proposition because it's just a double duelist playing here, and if the aggression doesn't work, well, then what's left to hold? Nothing at all. Reprieve has the full weight on his shoulders and can't find the initial shot. It's a dash back, but rotates coming in.
We haven't seen them necessarily do wonders on eco rounds in the past. They've kind of just bum rushed on their attack side, so they give up the site, and things become very difficult now unless Reprieve can find something. There's two now. He gets finally shut down by, of course, who other? Fiend. T-Dog 2, though, and it's all left to Venture all of a sudden in a 1 versus 3. Streets pushing a little aggro. Zerk up on top of the nest. He gets a little damage done. Rick Dad's gonna start to stick. He's about half. There's another shock dart, though, and he gets him. Did he get the half? If he got the half, this is still doable for Zerk, but not after this. Venture has gotten himself all the way up maze, and I don't think that Zerk knows. Nope. A close round, but Venture with the 1 versus 3.
Venture, such good work there. The usage of the Sova utility is just absolutely stellar. You saw that first shock dart. He like jumped, kind of boosted himself off the rope. It was like an absolute trick shot to find it. And then the second one connects just in time, denies the defuse. It's just expertly isolating those duels, shutting everything down. But there is a consequence of that, because remember we talked how they were investing a little bit. They were buying up some rifles in that one. So now the purchase is pretty scuffed here. Fiend does have the op. He also has his Blade Storm, which is so crucial. If Fiend can find the same impact on this attacker side with the op that he did on the defense, this could all fall away. But yeah, look, another op up. It's Reprived on the off angle, but he's revealed. Shot missed for Fiend. Both Jets have used their tailwind to no effect.
Decode up very close. Drone will spot him, though, and he's going to have to fall back. There it is, Fiend versus Reprieve. He gets the op down. It's all left to Zerk right now, and does he find Venture? No. Shocks does find T-Dog down mid, though, an early lurk, and Zerk punishes Fiend again. Somehow, someway, Mozzie Memphis stays alive after losing one of their crucial pieces. And they'll play retake if necessary here, yes. All 4 members not really in sight. Zerk a little out and isolated.
Standing ahead.
Talk about differences in agents. Cheat code takes out Zerk there. Fiend also against Reprieve. 3 versus 3, though. Things have slowed down. What are the options now for Goodfellas?
Either cut noise or exec or try and make a rotation. The lurk is kind of off the table. They know they've been holding for that now. Oh, I didn't even think of this. They have the orb, and now that's Fiend back up. There's no way for them to counter this out. It's a 1-for-1. Rick Dad
30 seconds
or
left.
cheat code as they both pick up a frag, and 30 seconds on the clock. They're still cutting sound. Mozzie members, it looks like they're biting. They're working through mid. This could be a flank, as it is the exec to come out.
That updraft, though, should give them the opportunity to know that it is going to be A. I thought for a moment that they were going to run out of time, but
10
no.
seconds left.
Mozzie Memphis gives it up,
Spike planted.
but it's a double flank. Last time this didn't quite work out because Venture was able to hold on for a little bit of time. This time, though, he gets away with 1 HP. A dart as well to delay, and Seth will push with it, but do they know Streets is here? Not quite, but it's only 1, so it's not the drastic difference. And Fiend has the op trained on the position.
Wow. This guy, just every time he has the opportunity, I don't think I've seen him miss a shot yet. Absolutely insane on the operator, and a really well-played round from Goodfellas. I love that they just cut noise there. Wait for Mozzie members to get aggressive, sweat him out for a moment, find that resurrection back up, and again, yeah, I mean, you brought it up right at the beginning of the round, but it's Venture. He's so good at holding down those flanks, finding that information. They instantly reassess and are able to deny it. And it's been these close rounds. It's been back and forth, but it's been consistently the Goodfellas coming out on top. And now taking a peek at the scoreline, 10-6. It's an eco for the Mozzie members. If the momentum continues, they'll only have 1 more buy left in them. But Shocks, being aggressive here, finds Fiend. That's an up down.
Oh, and they're committed down this mid lane right now. Streets, if he can delay, there's going to be a gun on their backside. He doesn't delay for long enough, though, and Shocks has gone back down the other side. Reprieve is coming down the mid lane as well. Shock darts, though, is their second? No. I was scared for a second. That might have changed the entire turn of events. Five has got the knives though, and he's gonna go for half. Seth on this one, can he spam it through? No, snake bite there, and he does get half and loses his knives though. Probably the crucial factor in actually being able to stay with this fragging power. Shox has got the op though. Finds the first. Do it. Go for this res. That's knives back up in the round. Zerk here with the sheriff. There's just too much of a setup here to make this really work for Mozzie Members. I think they're gonna have to back off. No, Zerk doesn't care. He was needing to die anyways, so I think that's the idea.
Op is good here. Oh, T-Dog could very well shut this down. They're both headed towards spawn. They need to hold on to this operator. T-Dog's unaware though. Not gonna overpeak this whatsoever. It's 11 for Goodfells, and it's even another frag. Great damage in that round. I know I wanted to see the content play too, but I think it's the better choice, not the res there. The time is already so far gone. They have the shock darts, they have that post-plant util, and are very well set up. So even with that jetpack on the table, it was still very, very unlikely. So I'm glad to see them kind of having a bit of respect there. And I mean, they're consistently getting damage in on these rounds, and we see what that's done to the eco. Fiend's not going to have an operator in this one. The rest of the team is a bit lower on money, so a couple losses, and this eco gets broken pretty quickly. But Fiend has the blades to find so much impact with that. As it's another early look towards A. This time, instead of just T-Dog working the lurk, he has someone else to join him, but I like that he's not committing. I don't think he's found a successful lurk yet this half. They're really reading it into him.
Five is there, and finally he takes down Fiend, who had the knives out. He's gonna go for the headshot angle onto Belt, but Seth has already passed. Cheat Code has found his way to Maze. Things slow again. You talk about cutting noise. This is early in the round. I don't think that drone spotted Cheat Code.
Let's go and drive. He's trying to fight Cheat Code. He's walked up so far. One holding back down below. He needs to beat Zerk. He will. Should have the information. He saw the barrel, knows where the op is, but deprived, able to deny it. So stays advantage of Mozzie Members, but now there's a pit down that makes this retake infinitely harder.
That it does. Five has been the man so far in this round. He's walked all the way out, but feet can be spotted if you end up pushing through. Exactly what T-Dog does. He knows the exact position as Viper's pit leaves a gap that people will try to abuse, and that's the spam through. Rick Dad is all the way down Maze, though, and T-Dog, once again, looks like he's trained for this. Looks like he knows how to play it all out. You talked about the difficulty. This is why. T-Dog, excellent player in his Viper's pit. Steps in the back of sight. He gets the third, actually. And now the res comes in. Shox is actually bum rushing through. Spike, though, is an issue. T-Dog with another one. And then the shock from Venture as well. That was his last shock dart, and it combines onto Zerk. What a round for Goodfellas.
What a round from T-Dog specifically even. Like, Venture, yeah, he converted the kill there with the shock dart, but it was also just T-Dog's pit. Did 99 damage, down to just 1 HP. All that was left to do was a formality. The little knife... I don't even know what's up with that, but what's up with this map is that it's not looking good for Mozzie Members, man. Look at this buy. They should have been able to win that, but it's just one Viper's pit, one T-Dog, rounds over. It very well could be the game. Prive still has this up, so I feel like the pressure's on him to try and get something done.
The crazy part, too, is that there's actually been a Viper's pit up this entire time as well, so not using it on defense to shut down a lane or something like that. Maybe just not confident. Match point, though, and Mozzie Members once again, man down. Zerk in a very aggressive position. Baby Bay style up in the cage.
Careful.
And Fiend knows. Yep, there's the Fiend. Oh my goodness. Right through the gate. This is looking dire, Mimi. It looks like we might be getting pushed to map 2, but Streets is still alive, and you can't ever count him out. Shox finds the cross, though. And that is also massive information for Mozzie Members right now. Still doable for sure.
That is. Fiend is still holding this cross like you mentioned, but the rest of his squad worked up in towards B. The Viper still holding close. He has that a very deep wall. This allows him to fight well in this retake, but revives T-Dog, brings that Viper back online. Now it's a full 5 versus 3. Streets really needs to deny the spike here, try and get something done. The pit's up, but they can still plant in this. Zeph's not going to get stopped, and this basically nullifies the pit completely.
Yeah, but another pick gets traded. Fiend has been a monster all series. He's looking to lock it down right now on this first map. It's just Rick Dad and streets, and the Viper's Pit is actually working against them here. They have to leave their own smoke against 4 guns trained on the position. Recon Bolt doesn't find anything. Spam going through. Don't make it like pistol round. Don't make it like pistol round. The spam works. Rick Dad left alone, and there it is. Goodfellas ends up winning out the first map 13-6 against Mozzie members.
Yeah, I mean, Goodfellas, they were just looking so strong throughout that game. It was a strong attacking side. They were just really good at that mid-round, which is kind of what we expected out of them. They're great at just cutting noise, playing those rotations, reading their opponents well. T-Dog's calling, definitely going huge. I thought there was definitely some moments, some opportunities that the Mozzie members kind of had a foot in the door, but once in that second half we had the Force Buy win, that's when it really felt like their opportunities were escaping them.
Yeah, that was a great game. And oh, by the way, hi Mimi. First time we're seeing you
Hi.
on camera. I love the shirt. Fantastic.
Thank
that
you.
game was fun. I really liked that. But when you really think about it, though, Aussie members, the only round they got on defense, as we look at the stats, was that defuse on pistol rounds. And if that's not telling for the rest of the series, I don't know what else will be.
It's hard to say. I mean, taking a look at the scoreboard here, this was just Fiend and Chico just having like absolute bangers of games. I feel like on that first half, Chico was so good at finding the entries, and once we got on, especially that defensive side, Fiend's operator was just even more vicious than it was the other day. Like, this guy is continuing to impress, and when the rest of the squad is so good as well, like, I don't feel like there's anyone on the Goodfellas, so I'm going to point out as a weak link. Maybe T-Dog wasn't going huge in the frag department, but he won him that round with the Viper's Pit single-handedly. He's calling for the team. His utility was consistently impactful. Like, overall, like, this squad is just looking so good. It was their pick. So there's definitely more opportunities for the Mozzie members to come back in this BO5, but we'll have to see. We're going to send things to a quick break. When we head back on in, it is the desk to talk us through that match and what we're going to see going forward.
Welcome back to the PAX Arena Almost Pro Valorant 10K Open. My name is Albert Lauren Haley III. Joining us on the desk, we got Mimi in a Technicolor Dreamcoat. I like that shirt. I like that shirt a lot.
Thank you.
Kura,
thank
welcome
you.
back. Game number 1, I had really high hopes. I thought we would see a lot of action, and that's exactly what we got. Evil Cat, is there a round in particular for you that just really highlighted things for you this game?
I don't know. I feel like so many things were going huge for the Goodfellas. But again, it's kind of what you guys previewed. It's the clutch potential. They were just stealing so many of these rounds. They shouldn't have been able to. And one that really comes to mind is that T-Dog Viper's Pit in the second half, right? Like, he plops that down, nearly able to find himself the ace just off that utility. Like, these players, every single man on the Goodfellas is so strong on the individual level. We had Fiend just like, it was like a Fiend showreel throughout the entire game, man. Once he got that off in his hands, he was going absolutely insane. Like, this just felt like a match where the Goodfellas were in control. Even when rounds slipped away from them, even when little rough things like that defuse on the first pistol of the second half happened, they still kept their mental strong. They were like, whatever, just one round, we'll come back stronger, and that's exactly what they did.
It really is, and it was kind of cracking me up because production, we have some highlights from game number 1. And I was like, what, you're just going to show the entire game of Fiend pretty much for a highlight reel? Because this guy was an absolute savage every round. One of the things that really had Kerr and I cracking up, round number 4, okay, for a second, I thought I was watching a Michael Bay movie. Like, I have never heard so much gunfire in a single round before. It was like a good 30 plus seconds of just nonstop action. I was like, I had hoped for a street brawl. And Kerr, that is exactly what we got out of round number 4.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, we just saw the tail end of the replay. Another one of the rounds that I wanted to highlight, just that stick. We saw the Sage Wall go up, and they were like, there are so many people still left alive. And they were able to steal that out. And I was like, there is a chance in the second round that Mozzie members could have done something. But then after that, I feel like they just lost everything.
It really fell away. And Mimi, I saw that cat, by the way. That cat.
She was just coming to say hi for a second.
I feel like there were 3 rounds that went together that really showcases game numbers 1, like the lessons to take away. Round number 13, we see a Mozzie members who are starting to find a resurgence. They got a few rounds at the end of the first half. They moved over to B, thankfully so, and they managed to clutch out that round. And I really respect the decision of the Goodfellas to say, like, okay, guys, let's do like a half buy, if not like a commitment to what we have, and put ourselves in a position where we can either take this round or find ourselves falling really far behind in terms of economy. And they clutched that out. And I just thought that there was so much cool decision making there to have the confidence in yourself, Kerr, to just say, you know, this is a high risk move, but this is how we, you know, stop this momentum and get things going our way again.
Yep, and then after that, I mean, they just had a lot of A focus. They kept going there, and it just worked every single time. They didn't even use that Viper Wall at B to fake anything out, which I feel like I see a lot of teams use. They were like, we're just going to use it at A, and we're going to keep going. And especially also that round, I think Venture with that 1v2 Sova shock dart. I don't know, clutch situation there. I mean, I felt like that kind of just sealed the deal. The mental might have went a little bit boom on the side of Mozzie members at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this squad overall. Sorry, Helen. I feel like they just were in a position of confidence, right? They felt like even if we're on the lesser buy, even if we just have one hero rifle, like put Fiend on an op or pull out the Bladestorm or something, and never have everyone else have a low buy, they still felt confident to take things down. And I think of towards the end of that half, they had that round where they pushed 4 up mid. And kind of worked that big flank with only T-Dog anchoring on the site. Like, I feel like that showed it. They always had a plan going forward. Even when that didn't work out, it was clear what the idea behind it was. It just felt like they were out-reading their opponent this entire match. And even when a couple rounds filtered away, they just instantly were like, how do we adjust around that? Fixed it quickly. Whereas Mozzie members, when they lost a couple of those tough rounds, the economy was never in order to kind of be able to keep buying in like we saw from the side of the Goodfellas. But looks like we already got Agent Select on standby. It's map 2 of Ascent.
Now, I'm really curious to see what happens here, because having the mirror compositions on Icebox makes sense to me in terms of what's strong in the overall meta. But I'm wondering if Mozzie members is going to go down that road again, just based off the selection alone. They obviously aren't. I'm glad to see them kind of shake things up and try to do something different than what the Goodfellas are bringing to the table. Kura, how are you feeling about seeing a difference in Asian loadout now?
Yep, I think these two agent loadouts are definitely what we expected for both teams. Just pulling up the stats here, that is definitely the most played comp for both sides. For Mozzie members, of course, they have the double duelist, but for the Goodfellas side, they are bringing out that KO. So I know yesterday Mozzie members was able to shut down that KO from Unshaken of Zero Marksman. So I'm interested to see if they're going to be able to shut down Cheat Code, because as we saw in the previous map as well, Cheat Code, like, he can hold down a site quite well. Now, I don't know what's going to happen right now, so hopefully we'll see some more of that.
Let's find out. Let's get into game number 2. Goodfellas up 1 over Mozzie members. Gonna pass it over to our casters. Mimi, Baller, take it away, guys.
Oh, we are back on into it. Map 2 on standby here, and I don't know, like, Kura, it's company pick out the KO. We got a Brimstone in the server. Baller, what's going on?
T-Dog whipping it out. He's got the stim packs. He's got the smokes. Orbital strikes on deck too, which actually will be very impactful given fact that we do have the Killjoy on the side of Mozzie members, but we're into the pistol round, and Fiend just barely missing getting spotted by that turret. He wanted to get a little bit more aggressive. It's going to be a quick B split here from the side of Mozzie members, and this worked out quite well yesterday.
Yeah, that it did. Oh, Chico, what's going on? He's found one, maybe a little more. No, Shocks will shut it down, and towards main, it's going awry. Venture reloading. This round is scrappy. Now it's down to a 2v3. The Cypher wounded in Sep, so T-Dog has to make a statement here, has to find an impact, and he dishes out damage. Sova down low. Reprieve looking for the fight. No, knock T-Dog down a peg. 1 HP on both these players from the Goodfellas as the round finally has an opportunity to breathe. Retake here, very, very hard unless they can find something quickly.
Look at the position of Shocks, very close up. T-Dog, he's got the frenzy as well, and both low means that this will be quick work, except he fires out the rest of the clip. But that thing is just so fast anyways. Seth will fall, and Mozzie members, they pick up the pistol round on their attack.
Yeah, really nice quick round from the Mozzie members there. I like the aggression that we saw out of the Goodfellas. They had that fight in towards B main, but there was an instant response to push in towards mid. I believe that door went up. That had to have been the Goodfellas who did that, but it completely put their player in towards market on an island. Like, it was basically a 1v4. He was only able to muster one, and then the rotates were late. It just felt a little sloppy from the Goodfellas, but Mozzie members, I mean, well played to capitalize on that chaos. They're a team that does super well when the rounds get crazy, and now they have the superior buy, trying to work this A site, but there is a stack to contend with.
It did also get caught by the KO knife, so information was gathered. The far right back though. Stack maybe already kind of sussed out a little bit. They're running down mid, but look at the position of Goodfellas. They're actually peeking down into tiles as well. Not going to spot the cross though. This is the important factor. Camera will start to hear them. Dart has also been pressured, so they know what's coming. KO will be flanking. They should be able to make quick work of Seth in the back line, but they're still not there. If he gets one, that will be actually massive. No, nothing.
Yeah, now this doesn't really feel all that possible. I'd love to see them just try and work the containment here, right? Like, damage is more important than a round that's likely going to be incredibly unlucky. Excuse me, unlikely. Well, it's also unlucky that they don't have weapons, and that's an unlucky situation for Jux. Shorty gets one. Not going to be quite enough. There's still a flank on the card, so maybe a bit more damage to be had, but the Mozzie members know this.
I like that you bring up the containment, because I was thinking the exact same thing, but so is Mozzie members, because they instantly, as they got that spike down, are pushing out of sight, trying to see which side they're actually playing for the exits from, and they basically were not going to be contained in that situation, so well played by them.
Yeah, nice little fight on the way out. They do lose one member in way of Shocks, but no big deal whatsoever. Now, Goodfellas, I'm interested to see what the look is going to be like, especially with the Brimstone on this defense, because it's not an Aster, it's not an Omen where you have that kind of sustainable utility. It's hard to keep the pressure up with a Brim besides just the initial 20 seconds you'll get out of each one of those Sky Smokes. So we'll have to see how well they can hold. Odin was considered, but instead is electing for just this Phantom. And well, they're expecting the Odin, they're expecting the Dart. It doesn't come out quite yet. And I love the Ventures delaying this, right? Because they don't think that he's going to shoot it that late. They run straight on up, and now they're just executing.
Yeah, they're going for it. Shocks has already got knives on board as well. You might have seen him with just a share, but no. Right over top! Venture and Seth are literally crossfired specifically for this, and Shox is doing that every time. Is that a Phantom running spray headshot? Of course it is. Oh, make it 3 for Venture. The spray transfer from him is also ridiculous, and we're probably literally talk about containment. That is the best picture I think I've ever seen in terms of containment with the molly on top.
Yeah, dude, Mozzie Members, they are so fast. I heard you were just like floored. I was too. They exec that? Like they were fully known, right? Like that dart revealed, and they just full send into the site. And obviously it doesn't go their way whatsoever. Seth had a setup with the Cypher tripwire there. They do circumvent it, but like you mentioned, they're holding. Well read, they're ready for that dash. They know that the Jet's likely to try something crazy. So the Goodfellas finding their way onto the board, but we have another round here where the money's going to be a tad bit more even. And I'm really hoping that the Mozzie members will slow things right on down, right? You have weapons. You don't want to squander this round because this is your way forward. And I like the same main fight. That smoke lasts 20 seconds, so it has so much information to sustain, and as well as the knife up. This is a strong A hold.
T-Dog's pushed himself all the way into wine, though, and if they aren't aware, he could really get caught, but he's left on an island like you talked about in that market round, and they're actually just going to play for the orb, which makes a lot more sense. No ult online, but maybe the one in B main is also up. Fiend is going to push through, and that smoke just missed time. So they lose Shox as well. He's not going to be able to dash over.
Yeah, I mean, that he was the big man for space creation. Now they have to contend with the Cypher utility, and I mean, what do they have to deal with it? Likely just a shock dart on their Sova. Will they even use that? Oh, yeah, he is. Running back's available. That's perfect.
In he goes, but Trapwire slows him down, and there's also the KO knife too, so no other utility for him, and Seth's found him. Venture's there too. This is another lockdown. Twice in a row, they go for this B side, and Seth and Venture have combined for so much. Seth's still alive though this time. He's gonna push through and around that switch house, and T-Dog will clean it up as well. Just well read in my mind from them, and also again, very simple ideas from Mozzie members.
Yeah, it is, and I mean the Goodfellas, they had a bit more intricate round there. They had the trip towards mid, which allowed that double play towards Cat. Initially, I think it was just a Fiend who was holding that Cat position. It was either Fiend or Venture, and then they had the double fight towards main. Cheat codes there to support T-Dog to get him in towards Wine, but once T-Dog's committed towards Wine, they just rotate. Play double towards Cat, keep 2 on the B site. I mean, it's just a really strong, really well-read hold, and what I love about the Goodfellas is they allow Fiend to do what he wants. It's a team that's fine to flex around their Jet player because they know how much impact he can have, and look at the impact. Information found, he might even pick off the Killjoy. Frag doesn't happen, but the pressure's on T-Dog because there's 4 players postured towards A. However, off losing streets, they have to fall back. They're forced to. They need to reclaim this map control, and just look how much Fiend has. He has support as well from Seth.
Yeah, literally everything is known. I think because of the simplicity of what's going on right now, it's basically like people, all players going over towards one side, and they're going to explode at some point. They've got mid control. This is like so unusual. Crossfire for the defense in tiles, baby. In tiles, and it gets shut down for now. Seth is going to be able to find the third. They'll recover it a little bit. And it'll be very damaging, yeah.
That's too far away to recover one immediately here, trying to anchor down, but he was spotted out. That was Venture. Find the information, and look at the reassessment. They're so quick to change things up, but they might not be ready for this. Teleport back B. Site's free, but he actually never found a Phantom, so it's still just these Sheriffs to try and get something done. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Only one man to anchor. This feels impossible, but who knows? Maybe Reprieve can pull something crazy.
I've clears main for them, actually, so that's kind of massive. They know he's not pushing up. He does have the flash. All 3 coming through here, and I think Reprieve knows, but if they can get him sight, it's going to be really hard for him to actually get back in towards the site to stop the defuse. Here it comes. Reprieve with the first. Flash out as well onto lane. They're going to fall into sight. This is the situation that I was talking about. How to play when the defuse is forced on them. There's a smoke inbound as well, and I think there is no play here for Reprieve.
Yeah, all over. Venture will be the one to confirm that. I thought that he saw both the players run lane, so I don't know what he was checking for. Maybe he suspected someone was creeping up, like crouch walking under his position.
Exactly.
But, I mean, let's talk about this early round. Goodfellas is just looking so coordinated. They get aggressive, claim all that space, and then they know when to use that tailwind on Fiend to get away, reestablish that crossfire. Unfortunately for them, it doesn't work because it's a bit of an overpeak from the player in towards Link, but regardless, like, Goodfellas, they seem to immediately have a solution for everything that the Mozzie members are doing, and it's because the Mozzie members are just, like, 5-manning. Like, the second that they see something, they know that that site is likely where the commitment is going to be, and they claim space elsewhere. That needs to be stopped. Mozzie members really need to kind of return to some kind of a default here, or else this is going to keep happening, and what's even worse for them is Fiend has an op online. We know how much impact he can have. A cheat code, look at this play. That frag completely free. No trade potential.
Seth also finding one as well. Fiend turning his attention back over towards B main, where they know there's a turret early. And the Omen is rotating through. Reprieve gets knocked down as well. Instant cage for Fiend to rotate out as well. Talk about coordination. This is so clean from Goodfellas. And the drone is still up. They're going to spot the last 2 members in here. What else could you do if you're Mozzie members? Now you have to take the gunfights. Rickdad with the first one onto market, and Fiend gets dinked. He'll have to fall off himself. T-Dog coming for the rescue. Maybe he can get a smoke from that distance. No, they're going to fall off, and T-Dog now up close. Cat, because he knows that's where the rotation has to come through.
So well read. Again, he's completely ready for this A play. He will fall off, but he's in another completely crucial position. He should be able to shut this all down. There's no way they hard clear him here, right? They have to, though. No one's looking. He's ready. 1-2. T-Dog does it all. Every round. Goodfellas knows what's going on.
This is starting to look like a potential snowball here for Goodfellas too, because ult's coming back online. You've got now No Command, you got Orbital Strike, you've got Hunter's Fury. Literally all 3 of the most impactful ults coming online for Goodfellas as the eco starts to slow as well for the side of Aussie members. And I really need to see a change, Mimi, in their style. This approach, you keep talking about it. They're going 5-man in one position. They're looking for the ult orbs that are very obvious, and then eventually pushing through.
They're doing it again. They really are struggling to adjust around this playstyle that the Goodfellas is putting out. It feels one-dimensional at this point.
And spotting shocks as well also is just even more cues. Now they also know Phoenix is over here, so what else is going to come? Given that there's no noise anywhere else. There's the delay from the KO. Fragmentation grenade out, but they're kind of look at this. No Command has been popped. And they've got T-Dog in the corner as well. Another smoke coming down. They can molly it out as well. How can they break through? I don't think they can.
It's just like super well coordinated, right? They're not stacking any utility on top of each other, just one at a time. And you're right, nothing seen. Hunter's Fury misses. It's attempted to dash in, but T-Dog trigger discipline, not shooting just yet. His teammates mopping up the rest, and they didn't even fully commit off that. Only 2 players went. Now here comes another 20-second sky smoke. This is so debilitating. Mozzie members, 30 seconds left. They have the lockdown, but I don't even know if you want to commit it here because there's 2 ults that can instantly cancel it out if you do.
30 seconds left.
Meanwhile, you see Reprieve, he's just playing Quake 3, like literally jumping ADSing across the entire map. And for good reason, he needs to go back over towards Cat and find something. But hey, guess what? It's Fiend. Goodbye. You talk about reads? There it is, another 12 second. They're gonna save.
10 seconds left.
That feels so bad if you're Mozzie members. Because I have a feeling that throughout groups, what worked for them and throughout like the earlier stages of this tournament, what was so good was that they could just out-aim their opponents. They could just kind of run it down. I feel like that's to an extent what happened to ZMM, right? Like they just kind of went out in that long game, were able to get things rolling, had that momentum behind them, and it was working perfectly. Now they have a really tough opponent in way of the Goodfellas, who is looking completely strong. But I like this. So few teams, I feel like this tournament are using the tax, and we get one out of the Mozzie members. Honestly, if you had asked me if I thought Mozzie members would use tax, I probably would have said no based off their playstyle. But they're taking this second to reset, ice out their opponent. I like it, and I really hope the conclusion they draw is that they need to play a default because they just need to deny this information that the Goodfellas are getting every round.
Yeah, they really just need. I completely agree. Start running in towards the default. Try to actually find out what the setups are going to be and deny those. Use shocks to break up the setups in your Sova as well. Because you are giving everything up to Goodfellas the way that's playing right now. I mean, think of the rounds that T-Dog is set up in good positions. Think of the round that they were in and dashing over into B main, how, you know, Venture and the Cypher player Seth were able to set up too. Like, how to break that is the thing they need to be discussing right now.
Really do. Timeout will come to an end as well. They have to make some economic decisions here because the money's kind of on a 50-50. Two players can buy in. The blades are still a good ways away, so that's unlikely to come out. And it seems like the decision might just be rock with 2 hero rifles here. See what Streets and Rickdad can get done. Maybe they're considering using this lockdown because they have all their players postured in towards B. That lockdown could be so impactful to find around here if they decide to use it, but maybe not. This could also be a fake because it's only the Killjoy there.
Possible. I'm not sure if they heard that flash over towards tiles, but they should have spotted the smoke on the cat. That should tell them something else is going on. It's looking much more like pistol round. And there's the lockdown pop. I like the position too, because they're in market to be able to actually catch the rotation, but the orbital strike is there. Venture is now, oh my god, a three-way crossfire, and they run into it. T-Dog there, Seth there, Venture there. There is no stopping that, and that's what I'm talking about. They had a good idea, but if the, the reaction is there from Goodfellas, you have to be able to fight that reaction,
I don't even know how much I like that, right? Because look at I talked about it in that last round. They had 2 ults online that instantly nullify that lockdown. Like, I think they would have probably known that lockdown's not going to get him anything, and they're still just sending it straight on into sight. Like, they have proved time and time again that full sending against Goodfellas is not going to work whatsoever. Seth, I mean, I feel like this guy's been playing Cypher since his days with SSG. This guy is just like a ratty Cypher player through and through, and he's so good at it. So many of these cheeky setups have found so much impact every time there's been a B site take attempted, and well, in this next round, it's tough money yet again for this attacking squad, and let's Fiend with the op, just holding main.
Oh, I don't know if he realizes the Phoenix is in the corner. Here it comes, run it back. Fiend is gonna try to shut it down, but no, the fragmentation also doesn't do much. There we go from Zerk, and he's by himself this time, so they have the room to actually spread out and figure something else out. T-Dog's still here. They're gonna dash in the site to actually secure the rest of this. This smoke's about to fade. Oh, the door doesn't even come down. Or Shocks falls. Finally the site. Tripwire gonna be knocked. Hunter's Fury possibly gonna get the spiker. That's Reprieve. No, he jumps and dodges it. Wow.
Oh my god. No way. T-Dog just finds the spike for free. They still haven't gotten it down. T-Dog has another. 3 frags for the Brimstone. Not another. T-Dog. Someone needs to stop them, and they eventually will. Street shuts it down to a 1v1. Ace denied, but the only healthy man in the server is Venture. Up against his opponent. Plant coming through. Shock dart goes wide. Won't find the damage. Where does the Killjoy play this? He needs to shut this all down. Utility on the spike. Rotate over. A flank could be in the picture here. It's a matter of timing.
I think he has to clear Dark. He has to clear Gen. The one thing he can't have done is gotten to A main, so it should be doable. I think Venture knows the situation, but he doesn't know whether he's flanking or not. There's the recon bolt, should know now. And he's gonna peek off of this. No, another. He actually knows now. This is maybe doable for Venture, because the options are not limited, and he's got half. All the way, all the way! There it is. Well played from Streets. And a good round from Mozzie Members, but Mimi, that was dicey, and that is not, like, they were in such a good position to just literally cleanly win the round. But it ends up being that T-Dog denies so long in combination with the Hunter's Fury this spike plant.
I will also say that should have been Goodfellas round towards the late round there, because it was at one point a 3 versus 1. Streets somehow pulls off the double here off the adjustment and into that 1v1. It was a very tough spot to be won. Still, like, that really shouldn't be happening because they don't have the money to back up losing 4 guns every single round, right? Like they're going to be on another tough buy here. Fiend still has the op. Goodfellas sitting pretty. The alt economy is fantastic. Even though Mozzie Members is winning rounds, nothing has been convincing.
That was the first in 7, right? So
yeah,
winning rounds probably an overstatement. Up the cat. This is the first time they're actually taking through here. There's going to be the flash through, but cheat codes here. Orbital Strike 2 is going to force him right into it. And that is destroyed. I mean, I sound like a broken record at this time, but clean hold.
Yeah. I mean, the round's pretty much over. 30 seconds in, it's a 1 versus 5. I don't want to completely count Zerk out, but it feels impossible barring Goodfellas making some huge mistakes here. Like, that's just so perfect, right? Like, I think the KO knife goes out initially. They have a little bit of info. Hear the footsteps up Cat. He's ready to spray away, and T-Dog's just like, all right, Grim Alton coming. You're all dead. It's over. Like, like my brain can't fathom that they're still trying these just quick executes. It's worked 1 time out of 7 rounds.
And that, you know, barely, because that was Zerk, right? Running it back into the site with basically no support.
And they still almost lost.
Unfortunate. But once again, I mean, Goodfellas is playing fantastic. Like, we can't take that away from them no matter what.
Yeah.
They're reading the situation perfectly. Every single time. They know what's coming. And one thing, too, to talk about is the ult cycling that they're able to get done. Streets is 1 off. Actually, that kind of ends up not working out for them. They won't have anything to deny this lockdown except for maybe Odin Adventure and the shock darts too. Oh, come on,
He didn't even get the ping. Just completely dry. Who cares? All right, Venture, just shut it down. It's another round that's over within 10 seconds. Another 1v5. This time it's Shocks getting his opportunity up to bat. I feel like the Mozzie members, I feel like their mental's gotta be a little rough right now, because this is not like the look of a team who's like completely mentally in it. Like, I think they just need to take a sec to chill out, because if I was playing this, I mean, I'd be tilted, man. These setups are just completely dismantling them.
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody in their position would be. Goodfellas is literally like, it feels like they can do anything and it's just working, you know? That's how I feel these rounds are going at a certain point.
Wallace to boot. Fiend to clean up, and another strong hold. Odin moment. That's what more is there to say? It's crazy to me that he didn't even get the pings. It's just off sound cues that he's able to spray away.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Odin on Ascent. What else are you gonna do, right? Just throw your hands up, call GG, go next. It is a best of 5, don't forget. So everything really does matter here for Mozzie members to get their way back into it. Like you said, try to reset somehow, because no matter how this map ends, they still got to play out another map and potentially claw their way back in the series.
They're actually running a default. 12 rounds in. They seem to have learned a little bit, and looks like the peak is towards an A split. Still that Killjoy lurking out towards the B site. And they actually have a lot of information here.
Ooh,
Someone's already walked up towards Streets. Shocks could go huge.
There it is. Shocks with the first. This is reminiscent of that round on Icebox, you know? They ended up just walking in the A site. There's the from the shadows into the back of Jen. So they circumvent the utility from Cypher, but here comes Fiend, and he gets shut down. Streets with 1 on cheat code as well, so not even able to use the no command in this round. Venture with Shocks, though, does find 1, but Seth left all on himself. And this is the flank from Streets that actually goes massive.
Yeah. Imagine if they had played a default within like a reasonable amount of time. They could have had that happening more than once, right? Because, I mean, Goodfellas were at a point where they were primed to rotate because the Mozzie members have been 5-manning every single round. But I know we were ragging on them a lot this half because it was a rough one for them, but 8-4.
Yeah.
Win the pistol. This is very winnable for them.
100%. I mean, very, very doable. You talk about Icebox, it was 7-5, and you know, the next half was the real rough part for them. So I wouldn't even say that this is like a drastic departure from where we were last game.
I think that was just the play of the half right there. The Brim ult with cheat code spraying. I mean, there were so many crazy moments. Now we find ourselves in another pistol round. Goodfellas, what will their look be on the attacker side? I'd expect the good reads to continue, and to an extent, the slow play to continue. They're walking up towards mid, but there's alarm bot or Streets to deny this.
Spot of the Omen inside of Market 2. KO knife use to actually force back the tree players. They're going to clear a lot of utility here. I don't think they're going to commit, though, which I think is crucial, right? Break the utility and look at the rotate. Up through mid market right now. They've already got control. They're going to break down the door very fast, but Zerk's here to receive, and so is Shocks. Molly coming through, but they've got both sides to deal with, and the Molly in the backside for them as well. Shock's very close. He gets taken out, and they've actually cleared the backside. Goodfellas making really good work here, but quick down the stairs. That was not expected at all. Never mind. It's Reprieve, clearly. And T-Dog ready to work. 1 versus 1 now, but it's Streets against T-Dog. Nice jump spot. That was the situation now, and it's going to be a full-on gunfight. Ammunition to spare. 9 bullets. Actually, these classic bursts might actually end up costing him, and they don't eventually, because Streets is just going to put an end to it right away. Another pistol round win for Mozzie members.
They've actually been pretty good on a lot of these pistol rounds. They're able to pick up a second in the game. For the Goodfellas, though, that was, I really like the call. Put just a little bit of pressure in towards A. The over-rotation comes out, but I think they just needed to sell it for like an extra 5 seconds. I think if it's just a little bit more delayed, they might be able to pick that one up, but the retake comes in so quickly, which I thought was so impactful.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, you think about how they play that. They go up cat, the rotation's coming through spawn, right? And then they push up mid. So literally, they're already there. You kind of rotated them into the position.
Yeah, it almost worked against them a little bit. And then, like, they never. What I loved is they didn't group for the retake, right? Like, they never alleviated that pressure, so Spike couldn't easily come down. And that really was able to win him this round out. And now they're just going back to their kind of hallmark aggression. All the way in towards lobby here. They're kind of being forced in towards A, but it's a Killjoy to hold. That does happen still. Falling back, so space regained towards Link here.
Look at the difference. See how they just push through B main, they clear out lane, and Goodfellas is re-clearing all of that. They're actually stacking on an anti-eco before realizing that this is a mistake, and they get punished for it unless Zerk has something to say about it. If he can clean out the last who's already in the market, things might OBK. Actually, he's gone away, so no advantage on either side, I'd say.
Still the gun advantage with the Mozzie members, but now another one falls. Trades there from Shocks, and that's the spike.
No, I was gonna say if T-Dog got that one, I would have been livid. Being left in spawn, yeah, no chance. The spike is down on cat cheat code, like you were mentioning. Last player is gonna be able to try to get the spike, but no, Shocks will clean him up. So we're back to 8-6. Literally the Icebox scoreline.
Notice how different this feels, though? I think you were talking about this a little bit, right? Like, on the defensive side of the Goodfellas, it was a complete lockout. No one was allowed to walk up. And even on the anti-eco, Mozzie members just play their default. They pull so many rotates. And like you mentioned, they re-clear that space in towards B. Like, so much space was found. If they have guns, I think they win that round every day of the week just off the positioning.
Yeah, they get the kill onto spawn. Coming out of B, I think that was Zerk who was rotating in there, and it's not just a trade situation. Then they can hold on to the space because they have the guns and they have the ability. So you're absolutely right. Quick push on A main. Zerk left all alone. Oh no, the one-way missed 2. So it's a really dire situation right now. Reprieve is going to try to play the smoke. Hopefully it doesn't get tagged. No. Literally just an exchange of volley of utility back and forth in the same main right now.
It looks like they are going to try and fall back. I actually like this Cypher setup. You have one in towards Link, so that'll allow kind of an aggressive push there to shut down this mid play, and that's exactly what's happening. Mid play underway here by Fiend, applying a little bit of pressure to the Omen in towards Cat. Neither have spotted each other just yet, as that final destination is the B site. And of all players, the Killjoy is rotating off, I think still in range, so that turret should be the one to break first contact.
Leading the way though, Knife actually doesn't tag the Sova, so he still has abilities, but I don't even want to use this. They have to clear him out. They take a lot of space on the front side of site. Now they can isolate. Break that, finds T-Dog, finds Fiend too, and that is huge. Streets is already through, and he gets both of them too. Unbelievable. Mozzie members just shut it down in a really, really awkward position to be in. And that's why Streets goes for the gamble, pushing out of the stairs. Will the spike get planted though? Venture's done crazier things before. The 1 versus 3 on Icebox was him. Team Flash coming through already, the shot. Oh, the op does the damage though. Reprieve can just tag him in the feet, and that's all good. Mozzie members, they're getting closer.
Yeah, I think if that op shot doesn't come through, we see a world where he wins that. It got way too close for comfort. But Mozzie members still pick it up. I honestly don't know how they're able to pull that out. It was just the Spectres, but they just kind of make some heroic plays. Rikdad in the back lines. I mean, Goodfellas maybe a little bit lazy not to clear it here because they get this absolute punish out of Rikdad, and then Streets is here to help out as well. A second frag onto Cheat Code really sealed the deal for me, and now the punish is that it's just going to be the Sheriffs. Momentum rolling heavily here for the Mozzie members. They already have that lockdown up for a retake. This is a much better look. Excuse me.
Gooder?
I saw a world where they get much gooder look. We can, we can move past that. Very good.
Very good, very good. Shock to the op now, though. Okay, there we go. That's much gooder as well. Down into trees. Zerk has gotten in the sight as well. Cheat Code is trying to lurk out, and yep, you know, I like the idea of them trying to take the space that is Goodfellas on their eco last time, but this time they're kind of just, ooh, what? He shot off the dash, it felt like.
Good jump, P-Dog won't be able to get anything. I mean, this is definitely a gooder look out of the Mozzie members right now. Shock's on the op, man. This guy's crazy. I don't know why they didn't have him opping on that previous map, but he's having a pop-off right here, right now, with this weapon in his hands. The Jet seems to have definitely freed him up, and for the Goodfellas, the question is, how do they change this tide? They have the null command, have the ult on their Sova as well as on that Brimstone, so they have a lot to just be execute heavy here. I'd imagine we see something quick. You can pop that Brimstone ult down, use that null command to disable any utility, and just straight up hit it. But look at this push towards mid, and Cam doesn't see it. You're right. Oh, this could go horribly wrong for Seth.
Oh, no commando. They don't have anything else. Reprieve gets him. Mozzie members, they're on, you know, they have to give up the site. This lockdown is not going to come for quite some time, but even then, it doesn't really matter. You've got a couple more pulses. I like the lockdown.
Wait, look where the KO is. I think he was lining up for an anti-lockdown lineup, and even if it's not, no, Hunter's Fury offline. Flank coming through. Here's the lineup to disable the lockdown, but it'll still be really hard.
Oh, it lands. Is it on top? It's gone. Lockdown destroyed. So Goodfellas able to hold on against without having to worry about the lockdown at all. Rikdown swinging out. It doesn't matter though. Lockdown lineup or not, they're looking good all of a sudden, Mimi.
Yeah, they're looking fantastic, dude. Where was this for the Mozzie members in the first half? That aggression towards mid was perfect, right? Because they're able to shut down Seth on the lurk. His Cam not spotting that until it's just a bit too late. And then they instantly have the flank. They're now the ones playing this map control excellently. And I feel like Goodfellas should take a timeout after this round, right?
Yeah,
like
sure.
I really don't like the amount of momentum that's building. If I'm on this Goodfellas squad, you need that second to talk through your options, because you still have lots of utility, you still have money in the bank, but it looks like they're just going to try and straight up go for it. I think B is definitely the weaker side if you're just going to work the execute, so maybe that's the call here.
They have definitely a lot of tools to be able to use this execute, but once again, 3-man push down mid. And last time it was an A push that came from it, but the difference was they were able to find some stuff down into mid. The execute is good. They force everything off of sight, but this flank, there's a tripwire here to actually deal with it, and Cheat Code is here too. He's got a pop flash if he wants. No, he's just gonna go for it. But the trade happens. Rikdad doesn't find any value with his actual Hunter's Fury, and he actually forces the flank to go back. This is going to be difficult, this retake.
That really is. Ult coming out, Seth holding close in for this door. There's lots of utility just delaying. This paranoia misses. 1-2, Seth shutting it all down. T-Dog helps out. It's one man alone. It's the op on Shocks, and he's denied. The speed works wonders, and what I thought was even more impactful was that they finally were kind of able to shut down this flank. They held for it, and what was even more important was that Venture re-cleared that space. The second they left, he knew that no one could be flanking, so he was able to help out Seth, and letting the site holds nice and easy.
Fantastic stuff from Goodfellas. I mean, you saw the utility that was actually being used, and also thinking about how there's 3 players pushing down mid at the time. You know, there's nobody over there towards B, but once again, looking in the strat book and pushing in towards B this time for Mozzie members.
Our drone will go first here. Instead of just one working this lurk, it's a bit of a different look. Brimstone holding towards Link, but again, look at this push up through B. One dies on the site, but the space is getting reclaimed by the Mozzie members, and there's still an opportunity for this retake.
Yeah, cheat code's gonna try to push through the tree, but Reprive, while running, gets the Vandal spray transfer onto cheat code. And they've actually denied the spike plant for quite some time, so a lot of time for them to work through. Zerk still has flashes too, and oh, he doesn't get the shot off. Bean's gonna punish him. Reprive still going for it. Zerk 2 against 1, and it's just Venture. They take back
1
the
HP.
lead. 1 HP, you're right. Oh my goodness.
Wow. I feel like we're watching the same game, but someone just flipped the team labels over, because now Mozzie members, they are just working this control perfectly. The second that there was pressure in towards that A site, someone was running out B main and completely cleared there. And then they were able to fully take mid control, work through Cat. Like, the retakes are so easy when all this space is given away. I want to see Goodfellas just slow things down for a second and deny these forward pushes, because right now the information is working against them so heavily.
Orb gains, that's no command online now. It's not quite like run it back, so you can't just run into sight and expect to get it, but he's gonna pop it anyways. But Reprive gets through. What is this? What? He's in the air! And they're gonna be able to get the revive too. So they can still push on the site, but at least the suppression ability has gone away. Molly's coming through still, and I think they'll maybe able to push through. Yes, they will take the A site. Oh, but Bean falls to the Molly.
And look, damage dealt onto T-Dog as well. This utility's keeping them at bay now, and it's positioned towards Hell. This is a better post-plant look than we've seen before, but look at this. Retake will be strong. Shock darts forward. It's a flash to start.
Playing off the camera, Zerk. Oh, T-Dog with the jump up as soon as that recon bolt comes through as well. T-Dog again. He gets the ace. This man is literally, he's very quiet throughout the entire game, but all of a sudden he just comes through with an ace. You remember the round with the 4K on this map and then the one on Icebox 2? He's just literally such a pop-off potential.
Yeah, and that's what's so great about this team. Even the support players can go crazy from time to time, and T-Dog does exactly that. Now he's leading the team, not only in way of IGLing, but also just in way of kills. Absolutely going crazy here. Mozzie members, the retake just completely shut down by one man. Still have money to work with, but this is kind of their last chance. Circle have some in the bank, but the loss bonus isn't great, so it'll likely be a reset here. And if Goodfellas can win this, they'll likely push this to map point. This starts to get into dangerous territory.
Mm-hmm. That it does. Much slower. They've got Zerk and Shocks playing off each other. An operator is on that site, but they push back into this and cheat code damage just punishes them. It'd be dangerous. They won't. Good jump spot. Both teams playing so disciplined all of a sudden. And with the noise cues, they're going to call them back over towards A. This is such a good call from Goodfellas.
Really is, but the rotates will still be quick. You see one jump spotting for information as well. So the second this KJ util will break contact, there should be two other players here. And the drone should give it away. Utility up for the execution, but I think it just has to be another retake. This time it is 5v5, but they have that Brimstone ult to worry about.
Executes so nice as well. Look at the coordination, the dash, the drone, the mollies, the smokes, everything. Shock darts coming in, not going to find much. 5v5, don't forget the orbital strike. T-Dog, not only his ult himself, but his gunplay ability too. Is he going to push through? No. For a second it looked like. The deny is still up as well with the fragmentation. Here comes Zerk. T-Dog's there. Cage as well to fall back, and he's going for more. 3 players left to find, and they're all up in heaven. T-Dog trying to bring this game back and save it. Stop the momentum where it stands, and he does just that, and the rest of Goodfellas too. Shocks has to fall back to save the op, but they're chasing. He's actually slowed down, and he gives it up with a couple of jumps. Goodfellas takes back the lead.
Well, the coordination between Seth and T-Dog there is just absolutely perfect in that post plant. Brimstone ult goes out, then we throw a Cage in. T-Dog able to push forward, find the first frag. Cage gets popped. We see it here in the replay. This gives him safety and a smoke to play around. Reprive has no idea what's going on. And the fact that he holds on to tree control allows for a crunch towards heaven, because once they had that man advantage, they just kept on pushing. They knew how impactful it would be to shut down this economy and to force Mozzie members onto the save. They do exactly that. Now it is just the pistols. One hero rifle for Zerk is this time quick in towards B. Seems to be the look.
Knife lineup as well. Not really the most critical people to actually tag with that knife, but still gonna cause some distraction. T-Dog's in, so is Shock's down the stairs, but Rick Dad is there for one. Cheat code is just insane sometimes on these trades, and all three members left of Mozzie Members are spotted on the flank.
Running back available. I don't know if they want to commit it here. Man down, maybe you go for this, try and pressure. You still have that hero rifle to work with. But, I mean, Goodfellas is aware of this. Fiend tucked in towards logs, but the ult is committed, and there's another lineup.
This is ridiculous. I mean, KO has been out for, what, 2 weeks, and he's already so proficient with lineups on a very rare situation here, which is the defense flanking back into B main. Hold on a second. Zerk's actually making this expensive in the west of Mozzie Members too. Acting like he wants to go for it, but no. Maybe he actually did. I don't know. Zerk is kind of a crazy man.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past him to try and commit in. It was the Sheriff's plus the hero rifle, so it's not terrible to get the damage, but it's kind of too late to like think the damage is great. Because the Goodfellas have fantastic money, who cares? That quick execute was good, but Seth's cam, again, he has a cam for every scenario. Reveals the full flank. They've reset the way they're holding site to completely deny that. Now this could be the final stand for this Mozzie member squad. How will they play this? Still the KJ towards A, and this time 3 players towards B. They're really trying to fight for main here.
They already know. He already knows. How? I don't know. Both cages expended. No command out to kind of deny them to fall back. They can't find anything. Venture's gotten to run it back down. Shock's not finding anything either. This might be the last hurrah, but Reprieve is here, running through while suppressed. You can actually throw smokes down now. Spike is down. The flash gets him. Oh, Reprieve! That is massive. Streets will get the last one too, and what looked completely scuffed turns off of the back of a absolutely insane 4K from Reprieve.
I mean, if there's something to get you back into the game, to get you pumped back up, it's that. Reprieve going absolutely massive opens the door for this squad to still try and take something here in overtime. Goodfellas, what is the change up to try and close out here? Money's a little weird. T-Dog down onto the judge. I wouldn't hate to see them just return to their default, because when they were defaulting, it was just such a good luck. You let Fiend loose a little bit, you let Seth loose a little bit, and they just are always finding frags, always finding ways to open it up. I mean, it happened there, but so did Reprieve. Reprieve just happens sometimes, and is able to deny everything. Looks like we might have a pause of some kind. Look back at some of these replays.
There's so many rounds in this that really you can be like, oh, this is where the game changed. No, this is where the game changed. This is where the game changed. We've been going back and forth in the last couple of rounds. And we come right down to the last potential one. Goodfellas is on match point to head into match number 3. Mozzie Members trying to hold on and bring it back into overtime.
Many big moments from both these squads. I mean, if you're Mozzie Members, you really need to win this map, because you lose out, you go into your opponent's pick, and it's a really strong map for them. It's Haven. We saw what they can do with that in their quarterfinal match. They've looked consistent on the map thus far, and I mean, while we have a moment to talk, I thought the Ascent pick was really weird here, because in this tournament, Goodfellas have a 4-1 record. They are not losing this map, to be honest, and it shows, because they run a really weird comp that a lot of teams aren't quite ready for, but we don't have much more time to talk about that because the round's underway. Last one of regulation, number 24. It's really do or die for the Mozzie Members here, as Goodfellas, it's a contact, eh?
Could be the play. T-Dog's got orbital strike online, but look at this. Should be a drone that should spot this, but they've been known to actually dash with the drone, so Shocks could go huge here up in Shroud. They break it too. He's up, he's in. Oh, he gets the flick too. They don't even know because he died so fast. And Mozzie Members is shutting it down. Looking clinical on this one too. He's even ulting for information. Here's the orbital strike on top of the position, but the dash is through. And it's a firing squad now. How to proceed? I don't know if there's a chance for Goodfellas here.
Gun up for T-Dog now, so at least both these players will have weapons, but it would take a huge fumble for Aussie members to lose like this. Dart goes forward. They're just spraying through the smoke.
They still have a spike.
Are rotating off. Yeah, they still have spike. And looks like the play might just be to cut noise, try and re-exec, but at least initially, Mazimum is not fighting. He swings forward, shut down, Venture, last man, 1 versus 5. This really has the inkling of overtime.
It does. That it will. 12-12, we end that. Back and forth we went in the second half, but Goodfellas, who was in control in the first time, ends up slipping here. Mozzie Members brings it back, but now we're in overtime, and both sides have to play this attacking side to end up clutching through. So how will this end? All I know is that my feelings have changed since watching Icebox and being scared of what that defensive side for Mozzie Members meant. They clearly have it. Just potentially not on the Icebox map. This one has been intense.
Yeah, the defense has been so strong for them, but what's so good for the Goodfellas is that they get to start defense every single time. They're the team that's likely going to go into those attacker rounds with the round up, so long as basically what we've seen thus far continues. And what's very interesting is that Fiend is invested into an op here. Last cannon, no armor behind this. He has to hit these shots.
Oh, that dart's a little short to actually push out his position, so Zerk might be dead. Yeah, he is. That was the freest first kill of overtime I think I've seen.
Even use the tailwind. He still has that. He can continue the aggression with the operator. Nothing really shut him down. Double hold in towards the catwalk. 1 anchoring towards A. There's a tripwire on B. I mean, they've spread this Cypher utility, so there's always reinforcement wherever it's needed. It's so perfectly done. Yeah, this could shut it all down. The off angle from Chico. They're ready for it somehow. No trade. T-Dog needs to do it all. Finds one. Paranoia is up. He needs to play forward. Spam's good. Denies reprieve. Doesn't need the eyes. Fiend holding the cross. The Killjoy needs to get past him, but it's an operator. Tailwind still up. There should be no way. 50 seconds on the clock, and Spike in a terrible position to recover.
Seth's got the camera too, if he wants to lurk through that shocks.
Oh, he saw the ponytail.
Oh. Monka S dashes away, but not even really. And yeah, 30 seconds left. Just a fantastic start to overtime here from Goodfellas. Hold on a second. Really still got the camera dart inside of him. Pulls it out finally. That spike is on Cat, so if you... Nah, they're here already.
No way, right?
Nah, 12 seconds. Shock's losing forward. Fiend gets a little bit of damage, but Venture's got the spam literally with an Odin.
That Fiend kill at the beginning. Zerk just wasn't ready for that whatsoever. Like you mentioned, the dart misses, and then a T-Dog, there's no way he should be able to get away with that, but the damage was already dealt onto Reprieve, so spam is good enough. Aussie Memba's now on the back foot, but they've been very strong at the defense. I'm interested to see what Goodfellas is going to do with this, because it felt like the 3 rounds that they won in a row there, it was when they slowed down, played that default, let things loose a little bit. I feel like that's something I've said a lot, but it's because both these teams seem set on the executions, even when they're not working, and well, this round is slower.
Yeah, both Mozzie Members started that attack side very slow too. They're going to go drone through B main though, and this didn't really work that often. I'd say, especially with the crazy cameras that Seth has.
No way.
Shorty from Rage can't even take out the camera. That feels bad. Okay, they're gonna go for mid splits. No, everybody's up.
The same as
Smoke's
earlier.
coming through market. Yeah. Shocks is actually gonna dash on a site, and he gets there, but loses a lot of HP. The Jet's behind him. Mollies are good. They've actually slowed this down for the rotate. Molly in the back site now. Shocks does not get the shot though, and Fiend takes him out while full blind. So they're gonna get in the site too. T-Dog's planting. Fiend has got the rest of it. It's a 5 versus 3 to end the game. Goodfellas in the advantage right now. Flashing to come through, doesn't catch anything. Cheat code's there. Streets with the trade. 2 versus 4 will have to be for Goodfella or for Mozzie Members to stay in this game. Streets has been massive. Time and time again. We'll only do it again. Nope. Fiend is trained on his sights, and there you go. Goodfellas go up 2-0. But they had to work for that one.
Yeah, they really did. Mozzie Members putting up a fight. I thought that Mozzie Members was going to be out of that. Like their icebox defense was not looking good, but they were just a different animal here on Ascent. They were doing so well at holding it down, but once it got to overtime, their opponent got to start on that defense, got to kind of set themselves in the right direction, and they're able to come out on top. Now we're going to be heading to another choice of the good fellas. Mozzie Members, yeah, it's close, but close really isn't going to cut it at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately, it might not. Overtime, though, and that's for T-Dog this time. Start off so strong compared to the last map, and for good reason. Honestly, I think he's one of the reasons why they were able to hang on and even make it overtime in the first place.
And I mean, I really doubted the Brimstone pick early on. Like, I like Brimstone as like a controller when you mix him with a Viper or you mix him with an Aster, but I normally don't like him alone. But T-Dog really making a case for it because their executes were so strong. When they were just able to push in quickly, it was off those Brim smokes, off that Molly. The Orbital Strike had so many rounds where it had impact. I think about that fight in towards the catwalk on their attacker side. I think on the defense, when they were able to kind of combo with the KO to completely shut down a play, like, it was working perfectly. But now we will have to see, can the good fellas keep it up, or will it be the opportunity for a reverse sweep for the Mozzie Members? We'll have to see after this short break. It's the desk.
The $1,000 game. As we go into game number 3 of this best of 5 of grand finals between the Mozzie members and the Goodfellas, this next game, it could be the potential difference between $1,000. Our two teams have made it here to the grand finals. First place takes $3,000, second place goes away with $2,000. So to say that there's a lot on the line would be an absolute understatement. I'm Lauren. Balla, great job casting. Kura, welcome back onto the desk. Balla, what are some of your thoughts about game number 2?
Yeah, I just think that was probably the most fun game I think we've seen all broadcast, right? Going to the overtime, T-Dog popping off. We had, of course, Zerk on the other side also doing his best to keep his team in the game. I think it was a lot of fun. We saw adjustments, the whole gamut, really.
The whole gamut. Kara, what are some of your thoughts about game 2?
Yeah, so I remember we were talking in the green room. We were like, all right, it's an 8-4 half. It's a little bit doomed, but then, stats don't lie, I guess, because Mozzie members, their defense, their defense was quite strong, at least bringing it back. But of course, mentioning T-Dog again, just those orbital strikes, I think they were really critical in stopping the rush of Goodfellas, not stopping the rush of Goodfellas, stopping the rush of Mozzie members, and just kind of zoning them off and retaking that A site.
I think game 2, for me personally, again, managed to display Mozzie members' grit and tenacity. Things kind of got off to a good start for them, and then Venture yet again just throws a bucket of ice water on their overall momentum and slows things down. But they managed to claw their way back into it. And Curry, you and I were talking round 24. T-Dog and the rest of the Goodfellas, they're in their birthday suits, according to chat. And then Mozzie members just takes them to the clothing section of Target, puts some clothes on them, and manages to just clutch things out. And we're in there in overtime, and I was just like, could it be? Could this be the turnaround for Mozzie members? And we just saw that Goodfellas decided to yank those clothes back off and ball. They finished that game out pretty strong, man.
Yeah, they did. I mean, I think my biggest takeaway from this is, yes, Mozzie members able to recover that, and they were able to actually go toe-to-toe in terms of the scrappiness that we've been talking about Goodfellas being good at for this entire time, The way that T-Dog is able to play in the clutch situations, and Venture too. They're able to respond just in kind on the other side. I mean, we had multiple rounds where Streets, another 1 versus 3 for him. Like, that was really nice as well. Even when the rounds were chaotic, they were still in the mix, which I don't think we saw on Icebox at all.
I would agree with that for sure. And one thing that I thought was really cool about game number 2, Mozzie members, I've kind of labeled them the grit and tenacity team, but they showed no small measure of clutch capability themselves. One thing that was really interesting to me, Kerr, is that we looked through the KDA throughout the course of the match, and Zerk was at the bottom of the KDA for their team, and we've seen that actually before on Thursday, but then he turns up in the second half and just becomes a beast. And that didn't happen here. It was just the rest of the team stepping up to the plate and being the offensive threat that they needed to be. I think it's a really good sign that we could potentially see game number 4 here, because Mozzie members are so well-rounded in who can turn up.
I was going to say, Zerk did use that run it back to kill both Fiend and Cheat Code on the day site when they were on attack. So, that's going to be my play for Zerk.
I agree with that. In terms of the Phoenix choice and the difference in the agent selection, Balla, how do you feel the change from a mirror match to having a different comp worked out, or was perhaps even a hindrance for Mozzie members?
Yeah, I think it's not necessarily always that there's going to be like, oh, they're going to get like 4 more rounds because they have a different comp that, whatever. They still had a game plan with the comp that they had. You're talking about Zerk, right? He was farming those orbs. I think one of the reasons why he's actually lower on the scoreboard on those attack sides, because the game on Thursday as well, he was low on that attack side, is because they kind of are using him as the linchpin, right? He's always getting the orbs, always running it back into the site, and not really necessarily in a position to be, behind his teammates, where he has the position to frag out to get a couple extra ones on top of it. So that being said, him on Phoenix is specifically catered to that, because he can get those ults up online so fast. 6 orbs only.
I think it's a really good point. I'm glad to see Zerk go back onto the Phoenix. The playmaking potential definitely made itself apparent. Kerr, I'm seeing KO again. The same agent loadout, I believe, from Goodfellas.
Yep, I mean, of course, we expected that on Haven to bring out the KO. I think Zero Marksman brought it out on Thursday, so definitely not too surprised there. Mozzie members, they really struggled on Haven. I believe that was the 13-4 game that they did lose against Zero Marksman. But, I mean, as we've seen, they've adapted some of the strategies in using the flanks and using those pinches, especially in that last map. In one of those rounds, they were able to pinch Goodfellas onto that site and make sure they couldn't get out. So I'm expecting them to use that really early on in this game if they've learned anything from Thursday.
Mozzie members, they definitely are no strangers to adaptation. But Bala, what do you think Mozzie members needs to do in terms of final thoughts going into this game to see a game forward?
Yeah, I think they need to work the map a lot better. I think you need to use Zerk as a slow entry rather than an explosive entry, which is how they've been using him over and over again. And also let Shocks lurk. Let Shocks go for these entries on different sides of the map while you're working something else.
I think that's a really good point. Shocks was actually a beast, in my opinion, with the operator. Curry, you and I were talking about that. But Curry, what do you feel that Mozzie members need to do in terms of final thoughts here?
Well, there's some focus on Shocks, right? But I think focus should be on streets because, of course, Haven is very large, and we definitely need to see those flanks and lurks coming out. Maybe just a lurk up B and trying to catch off Goodfellas off guard in this first half.
All right, let's see. This could potentially be the last game of the best of 5. Goodfellas taking on Mozzie members. Bala, Mimi, take it away.
Thank you, guys. It's here, map number 3, potential to close out the grand finals right now for Goodfellas, but Mozzie members, they've got grit, they've got tenacity, that's for sure, Mimi, and I think they're going to try to hold on for one more map.
Got the opportunity, but it's definitely going to be a tough one, and they're taking things nice and quick. A pace up towards mid B site, already under their control, and look, it might just be the B to A. They're fighting for this link control. Will they take it all the way? It looks so, and there'll be a flank inbound from the Cypher as well. Lots of pressure on Venture, but he fights his way out. That's huge.
Similar pistol to what we saw in the other time, in the other Haven game, actually. Taking a page out of Zero Marksman's book. They do get the sight, but the difficulty here is Venture's already got the flank potential. Kind of switch positions on when this would happen and during the time of the round. They're going to push actually into spawn, and it works. The trade possible right now. Shocks is going to continue. No smoke sound on the site, but they've already got some space because Fiend's up in there, but on Cat, Zerk is there. It's all left to just Shocks. 11 bullets in the frenzy. No dash either. Shock Dart 2 and Venture again. He's just so good with those. He's on point.
I like the aggression in towards spawn, but what I like even better is the adjustment from the Goodfellas. Venture had already fought his way in towards that flank, so they see that pressure towards spawn. The Cypher just goes to join them, and well, they basically turn the flank on its head, make that the primary assault, and they're able to shut down nice and clean. Great work from Steph and Venture, especially in that round. Mozzie members, I mean, I think the only reason, to be honest, that game went to overtime was because Mozzie members won every pistol. They won a bolt, they converted off them both, and when they don't have that, then things look a little bit more dire, but still only the first round, and well, what they are doing is a force buy. We haven't seen them from them just yet. It was working for Goodfellas before. See if they can get it done.
Already a top C smoke, but there's 3 players there. I think they might want to try to pop out of the smoke, but that might be telegraphed. Here it comes. It is going to be exactly that. Flash through as well at the same time as the paranoia. T-Dog is stuck in the corner, but they're all flashing themselves. It doesn't matter though. Ooh, they've cleaned up the back of sight. Still won it. Cheat code. He's gone too. So it all works. The force worked for Goodfellas last time, but this time we've also got, oh my goodness, this could be massive. Hello? Oh no. Venture in the 1 versus 4. He's already got 1 because of the shock. Now they're on logs. They're spread out. They've all fallen apart from each other. Finally, Venture not able to move forward. Streets falls back, but he's low enough that this could be a massive spray transfer from Garage. 18 bullets in the Spectre 2. He heard him. There he is. He's on default. No way! Did that just happen? He brings it back. Venture with the 1 versus 4. How many clutches is that for him at this point?
I don't know. It feels like every time that anything looks like it's going awry for Goodfellas. Venture is just there. He's the safe hands for this squad. And I feel like he won them that pistol round, and he damn well won them this second. A 1 versus 4. The shock darts, fantastic to open things right on up. Poor Shocks got shocked, and I mean, if you're the Mozzie members, this just hurts because this shouldn't be happening. This shouldn't be possible. It looked like they were playing that correctly, right? They had the crossfire, but the swings never came forward in the right time. Venture denies it all, and that was their force buy. Now they're just on to Sheriffs, and this keeps the ball rolling super early on for the Goodfellas. Look at this aggression, too. They've already cleared down C-Long.
Ooh. Will it matter, though, if they've already opened up the B sites?
Oh, again.
Go for it again, but the drone is in for Venture. Mimi, you keep calling him out. He's so good at these micro little adjustments. When there's a possibility of a play, he shuts it down right away, although this might get very hard for him to deal with. Shock's already in the corner. He's on the box. They're going to push this, though. Dash away. Oh, I love it. That's great. Reprieve comes in after the dash. They've taken up control of all of this, and the spike is not really planted for them over towards A-Link. There's a shot through from Reprieve as well. They're going for the half. I don't think he got the half there. No, he did. And it doesn't matter anyways because, wow, they weren't there on the spike. It wasn't planted for them. The 2 lanes that they're controlling made it easy.
Yeah, that was really nicely played out of the Mozzie members. They're able to get that spike down nice and quickly, and then they're instantly fighting for a link. They know that there's only been 1 man anchoring there, so they're able to isolate him and then just hold that ground. I also love that they give up the space mid, right? They know how impactful that link control can be, so they're perfectly comfortable to just turn away, shut things down nice and quickly, and this net's a first for the Mozzie members. Even though it was kind of a bonus, they did have to reinvest, so it's an eco up for Goodfellas. Not a bad round whatsoever, and well, the pace will continue unsurprisingly. It's quick in towards A. Still only 1 man anchoring, and those rotates a world away. Venture has to do it all, and he's not going to be able to muster. It's just the retake play.
Gotta be careful with those shocks, though. He's gonna plant in a safer position. Nope, shocks are good. Oh no, they're jumping out with that? I don't know about that. Well, it still gets the spike planter down, and now they've actually waited out the smoke, so they could push with this, especially with the drone. Fiend another! Starting to get scary, and Zerk's in no position to use the run it back unless he can fall back up towards Catwalk, and he'll do just that with the blaze wall up. The pace change right now. It looks like they want to actually go for exit. Shock darts coming in and a recon bolt. They've got to be careful. They're swinging on this. Zerk's here. Suppression has happened. Venture's still inside of spawn, but Fiend has dropped down and Ceph's with them too. Zerk cleans it up though. And I like the ideas from Goodfellas there, but the gunplay is just too strong.
I thought that was a double shock lineup, but it was a recon and the knife coming in. So this guy is just a nerd at it. Like, cheat code has clearly put some time in the lab to get those knife lineups going. We've also seen he has a lot of molly lineups. I've seen a lot of KOs kind of use that molly for the close corner on graffiti. I'd expect him to keep that kind of cheekiness up. So they do show that utility early on, so Mozzie members will be aware of it. But I mean, pulling back to the round overall, it was just an anti-eco. It's a good hold in the post plant. They're able to shut things right on down. Find this a 2-2 scoreline. Run it back available in this one, so they want to keep this pace quick. Yeah, into garage.
He's going to use it, puts himself right in the corner. He's going to maybe wait for the smoke a little bit for it to get onto window. There it is. Oh, he's going to go all the way up in towards spawn, it looks like, with the way that smoke went. Yeah, this might catch, actually. 1? No, wow.
Oh, that's false information. They can reclaim this space immediately. Shock's not going to be ready for it. Cheat code to double. Hunter's Fury up. This is so weird. Shock's falls away, is alive, but loses that positioning. Hunter's Fury does nothing. 5 versus 3 Mozzie's members. They have to fight their way back out. They have to find this spike. T-Dog there shuts down 1. Crossfire can be established. T-Dog falls, but what's the matter? His trade is in quick. Cheat code to shut it down. Perfectly played there.
What was the idea? What was the idea with those double smokes there and the running back? Because I was a little lost as that was happening. Exactly.
I mean, they wanted to clear the space, but the jet was just too late. I think their spacing just got off.
Yeah, definitely a possibility. Well, good ideas still, I think, for Mozzie members. At least the fact that they have that in their playbook, to me, tells me that there's going to be a lot more on this attack side than we saw from Ascent.
Venture's 8-2 right now on the Sova. I feel like it's a name we didn't talk about too much in those previous maps, but he's finding all the impact here, and Fiend as well. This little corner, the right click and Sewers can do so much with Streets. Nice shot, shuts it down.
I know exactly where you are.
Working the orbs as well too. No theft out. No command to shut down the actual take, but oh, he's out of range and he ults instantly towards C. I think the no command kind of tells him that there's a lot. Seth is here though, and the rotate doesn't matter. Look at this. Oh, T-Dog. He also used, oh, come on.
Poor guy.
A little too obvious maybe. I like how the spike did not get planted in that time, just in case. Things could have gone awry. Shock still up in window. Cheat codes pushed out. And a clean round for Mozzie members. Very clean.
Good Streets. What is this guy on? He reads that there could be a man pushed up towards mid, denies that first kill. He also reads that T-Dog could be tucked in there, shuts down the second. It's also a great curveball from Zerk to combo for that. Just a well-played round. I saw what Chico was going for with the null command. He wanted to deny a quick push there, hopefully deny the Omen ult, but the Omen was out of range, so Reprived makes his way onto the site, and everyone else, well, they just run right on away. They're able to finish it off 3-3. Is what we're looking at in the way of scoreline. Yeah, it looks quick, out mid.
Essentially one flash, and they'll push down grass as well, but everybody's pushing in towards their lobby. Venture will be the only one to receive, and it's quiet, actually, on the backside of this. So they're up with the tripwire. Nobody's watching the flank. Streets is here. Yes, he is. Never mind. He gets
Always
both. Cheat code finally will shut him down. So, oh, they're in with this. They're in while the spike's planting. Literally, multiple members on the site. They fake the plant though, and it all works out for them at the end of the day.
Drop the spike.
Yeah, it really could have gotten risky with the players on the site there around that cage, but shots go wide. Not quite going to happen. They're still faking this plant. Really trying to draw a cheat code. That they will. Ooh, through the box, though. Great shot. Now he has the lineup. Yeah, this is very losable, especially with the Phoenix on 1 HP. Pop flash over for himself, and he has the molly for in close. This is so doable.
Okay.
Never mind.
Okay. Good. I was wondering for a second. It looked like that might cost them because of the aggressive push that ended up happening and the fact that he was able to fight back into that. But because there's too many people on site, it's not like they're losing space. So they take the risk, and they get the ult online for Zerk in return.
Absolutely, they do. 4-3. Mozzie members pulling ahead just a tad here. This feels like a lot more depth than we saw on Ascent. Their attacker side, it felt like they were just pugging it on Ascent, and now it feels like they actually have direction. I know they played it the other day when you got to cast them, and they were looking good then, so I'm glad to see that there's a bit more to this squad.
5 spots too, and a lot of noise as well. He's waiting for the run it back to come back online, but I think this is kind of obvious. He's going to play in the smoke, run it back denied instantly, and no punish either. Fragmentation grenade will delay them even more, but the entire time they were waiting over here towards a lobby. Not enough space gained so that this hit can actually come fast enough. But Seth, you can't find one. Oh, he's going to play a one-way cage! Oh, and Rick Dad punishes him anyways. Back towards A. I feel like we've been here so many times.
Wow, good fellas. They're getting out-rotated here. This is something new. Fiend up towards Heaven, ready for the shot. Doesn't find it. Streets is quicker. And Venture trying to hold down. He's where the flank. I think this should be a save.
Yeah.
They seem to agree. Falling back.
Wow. I'm actually at a loss for words at the pace that... Not just the pace, but the ideas that are happening right now for Mozzie members. Much different than Ascent, like you're talking about. They're winning rounds strategically here, tactically. Like they're forcing a save at the... There was so much time on the spike left there still. These are the types of positions I want them to be in.
They're hunting too. T-Dog trying to hold on to the weapon. Should be able to get one here. That he will. Fox can do better. No, T-Dog again. Hunt goes wrong. Couple frags found. Mozzie Memba's going to lose out on a little bit of eco as a result, but man, you're right. Like, the mid-rounding is so strong from them. A little bit of pressure in towards C. Everyone rotates. Practically free sight in towards A. And then it's just like Streets again. He's going huge this map. Shuts down the Cypher through the one-way cage. That's insane.
Yeah, that's literally... You know how everybody talks about, You know, you don't take the fight since you don't have it. You want to set yourself for advantage, right? Seth did perfectly in that regard. And
Street just doesn't care.
so grown up. I mean, the pace is definitely the same. Like, they're still so aggressive. Shocks are gonna dash in, but there's actually a judge here. Oh, it's so scary. Literally in the smoke. Instantly throws his hat out though. And that's the spike down too, actually. They were trying to plant that. And there's the flank too. Come on. There we go. A recovery. Paranoia flashes them now. It slows it down. This is so hard to recover. I think they're going to have to go for flanks if they want to win back into this round. Space is actually...
And look at the posturing. They're like ready for this. They have a man in the back lines. Fiend is holding for the garage push.
Yeah,
Even
right.
a flank is no easy way in. Only one curveball. I think they have to take a fight off this flash. That's really their only way to break this. And there's another smoke. So much utility.
They can wait it out. There shouldn't be a third for T-Dog, but even then it's like... This is happening so fast! Oh, through the smoke! But still, there's another crossfire literally taking the place of the former. Street's still alive though. And on the backside, Fiend is actually reloading. He's gonna go for it, but just barely missed the head of T-Dog. Unfortunately, losing the spike was a drastic change in what their plan could be, and unfortunately departing from their win condition.
Yeah, Seth goes huge in this round. And I mean, Goodfellas, let's talk about the read there because they instantly hear the pressure mid, rotate players in. Seth was holding, he had support immediately. I think it was one of those plays where you just dash on in, get that plant down. I mean, people like Tens do this a lot. Back on out, everyone plays for mid, but it doesn't work this time. Perfect play there from the Goodfellas. I like the attempt, try and work something off the curveball, but it's just a situation that's too far gone. Money's still a little bit weird for the Goodfellas. Great recon bolt. Will reveal a little bit. Rotate's coming in. It looks like they're back to their old ways. Quick push towards A. Null command pop, though. This might slow the pace.
Can't use that.
Yeah, it should. Smoker is suppressed. Wanted to say detained for a second. Nice shot. Zerk, and good reaction from Fiend. He's hiding in that. Cheat code might go for more. No. So shut down. Oh. He's getting cheeky, Mimi. I don't know about this. He's in the smoke. Yes, he gets it anyways, so it works out. The ult was, I think, to try to punish anybody on A, but it's not going to find anything anyway. Street's still here over towards C, though. Cage instantly pops another one-way for him. That's Seth this time, and he makes it work. T-Dog's gotten here too. No TP to even get involved, but once again, they're falling back, not committing.
That cage means there's a fear factor, right? Like, oftentimes there'll be an omen up there off a cage like that, so they had to respect it at least a little bit. They'll fall back, reassess towards mid, but look, there's a tripwire here to receive. There's man playing a Link, and the KO's not far behind. Rotates will be quick if they go for this execute.
Put the wall up. Should be able to get the spike planted. They will. Oh, the fragments! He gets it down at least. At the very least. That would have been absolutely awful. He's gonna flash back into this and fight. There's not even a run it back. He maybe get no, nothing. Okay, okay, buddy.
Cheat code, my man. He's turning up when he's needed. Goodfellas tie the scoreline, and it feels like Mozzie Members is really only winning when they have like a preconceived notion of what they want to do. Like the mid round just doesn't look strong.
Yeah. Yeah, you get the illusion that there's something when the idea is like so long, you know, when it's like multi-steps. But in reality, it definitely, I think I agree with you. Like,
utility usage.
The no command to shut it down originally. These are the types of things that are really making it hard for them to execute on their plans. No command originally, then there's the fragment. It's just so good for cheat code.
Remember last round when I said they have to respect that cage? This time there actually is someone up there to punish. It's Fiend on that boost up, so get something done. 3 stacked in towards this C side. They're working this mid
There we
control.
go.
Yeah, nice shock dart. Disables the utility. So I feel like now they're putting pressure on because consistently they've been able to rely on this Cypher utility for free information. Now they actually have to put a body there to defend.
That's a good adjustment. They broke the B trip and the get garage trip. So they have to put a body on garage. And they could actually get access to B if they want to. Look at how T-Dot has to play. He has to play either garage or, you know, timing his way back into B, going both sides. It's very difficult a position to play, but he's actually getting a lot of info. Recleared B all the way.
Take flight.
Oh, he's just playing close on that corner.
Huge knife. That'll delay this push yet again. There's an ult in, but he can't commit it because his team has no way to push off of it. They're still holding close. Smoke's come forward for support. Zerk still trying to force the matter. Lurk. Oh my god, how does he hit that? Now there's a flank factor. Pride can go so huge in this situation. Zerk forward. Flash misses. Trades come through. 2 versus 3. It's a retake. Plants is down.
You're gonna press ahead of this cage. Oh, I think there's a little bit of a gap. No, it's not. He thought so too. Seth down in spawn. Is this doable? There's a player in graffiti. Has to clear out with the cam. Can't even reach. Instead, he's gonna go for it from this side. Doesn't clear it though. But out comes. Oh, he still gets the shot. Out comes Fiend, and it's all left to Rickdad. They might think he's playing down long though. That's usually the position of the Sova. And yet, I was gonna get one. Is he sticking it? No. Recon bolt to determine whether he's pushing or not, and to get him off spike. And now the time is pretty much over. Good clutch from Rick Dad, and there we go from Aussie members. That right there, Mimi, was a mid-round game, specifically off the trip round.
Finally, like we talked about early on, how great it was that they broke those strips. What that allowed was the lurk up towards mid. Their Omen pushes in, kills T-Dog immediately, and then that flank is just blisteringly fast. So much pressure on the rotators. They're shut down, and well, there's an opportunity in that 2v3 retake when they take those first couple kills. You got your boy Rick Dad there, and I mean, Sova in the clutch when the spike's already down. It's so powerful. He'll convert that. We could easily be looking at a 6-6 half here. Matter if the good fellas can pull it off. Hunter's Fury, Blade Storm to work with for them. A bit of mid control to work with for the Mozzie members, but they've actually been denied control towards A. T-Dog taking that fight, but neither side really overcommitting to it.
He can't fall. He's been such a linchpin in terms of the smokes to deny specific choke points when they actually go for the executes. Once again, broken the tripwire in garage. Should bring Seth to recover and play his camera into mid, but that's a lot of information. Knife in garage as well. Tells them, you're talking about this play up in the cage. Fiend is there. They're doing it again. That could be huge. They realized last time, though, that there's a possibility, and there's not actually a cage here. Fiend's just up top. What a dash. So good. Is he actually getting the ult? No, he's actually finding Streets, who's inside a garage instead, and Fiend will push him as he's isolated. The cage to assist and potentially lurk out of, but Fiend's already close, still in the same position. They have to fall back again. They can't get into that site.
Oh, they can't, but T-Dog is still at A. He's never left this position, and rotates are coming in. They've re-cleared towards mid. Cypher Cam is still in position to aid in that direction. T-Dog can really do this all. Do they check the off angle?
Nope. He can TP out if he wants to. Is he going to get a smoke down? No. They're through. Flash as well. Okay, buddy.
Okay. How many rounds has that happened? Where we're like, oh, T-Dog's in a position to win the round. And he does it. It's like the third time this series where he just 1v2, 1v3s in the late round. He's so good at just being an anchor. Does it perfectly there, and just unfortunately for Mozzie members. Now, we do look at a 6-6 half, so definitely anyone's game here, but I think the pressure is so squarely with the Mozzie members. They're down 2 maps. They need the reverse sweep, and I feel like they need to take this map like somewhat cleanly, right? You don't want to put all your effort, all your steam into one map. They need to win 2 more after that. Like, they need to be able to close out quickly here. However, the good fellas, feeling they're not going to allow it. It's an attacker side in which their mid-rounding has been so strong consistently. They've looked good on Haven throughout this tournament. This is tough.
Final round there to clean things up, T-Dog. We're into the pistol in the second half, but it's all tied up, so departure from what we're used to. An A main smoke. Zerk, do they want to push this? They do. They double time it, and they only get 1 from it, so no real value, unfortunately. Gonna be able to rotate over. Rick Fiend's here. He's been somewhat solid. He's gonna actually confirm that the push is happening, which gives the time potentially the flank to come in from Mozzie members. Let's reprieve with this duel. Fiends bullying him a little bit. Ventures here as well. He's actually going to go back towards long, so he knows what the situation is. He can call it out to Fiend. Other two members, one in heaven, one in spawn. He relies on Reprieve getting this. Oh, what? Are you serious? He's only jumping classics. It's still here. 2021. Seth with the Ghost 2, Fiend also. As soon as Reprieve falls, it's over, but I still am mind boggled that he could hit that shot.
I really hope we get a replay on that, because I don't even know. What do we say about that round? They just got, like, classic diffed. Wow. All right. Well, looking forward here, it's like buy up for the Goodfellas, a likely 8th round. I like that the Mozzie members are respecting this. When the scoreline is so close, I don't think it's worth the risk of committing a force buy into this one, because their force buys haven't really worked consistently. In that first half, I believe they did put an investment, didn't work in their favor. They had to be relegated to winning that third. Now, good recon dart, T-Dog just going to capitalize off of it nice and swift with this A site open for business, and utility just setting them up for success. Bit of damage dealt, but Dox is on 1 HP. Shouldn't be able to happen.
Oh,
what?
Okay. Yo, this classic burst is hitting right now. I don't know. Everybody just switch off. Add your
Maybe they
prime.
just use classics.
Exactly. Quit the prime classics, start jumping around. That'd be a life. Actually, I don't want to live in.
Write that one down. I think they're aware. Oh yeah, 100%. 5 streets should be in short order. Yep, just the full sprint, run in it down. Venture to convert. 8-6 is that fabled scoreline. But Mozzie members, they'll be up onto weapons now. They'll have shocks on the op. Goodfellas actually, he wasn't opping a whole ton on that defensive side, so I don't think he ever pulled out the op actually. So Shock's gonna have the first one in the server here. My worry is that they lose this op and Goodfellas pick it up, because I'm sure Fiend will be very happy about that gift. They need to be careful how they play this, especially since it's a glass cannon.
Yeah, I was gonna say glass cannon. Yeah, that's a risk, and it's also against a bonus, right? So there's a judge in play and 3 specters, so they're gonna be running and shooting for the most part. It scares me a little bit, but he is able to lock down the C lane very effectively in comparison. What?
What?
Okay, this game is getting ridiculous, Mimi. Reprieve just runs through the smoke with a Vandal and 2 taps 2 people. Streets comes through a smoke of his own. They've got the spike. This looks like the first half.
Yeah, it really does look like a round on the board for them. This is just insane at this point. Seth gets one, another. No, this shouldn't be winnable. Shouldn't be possible. Classics out, the right click again. Shock Dart trades it. Venture alone. He's 1 HP though. Spectre. No way. Right? They're playing this together. Ready for this trade. They know his position now off that spam.
No.
Oh no! Oh, stop, please. It's just a classic right click versus classic right click every round.
I was kidding, guys. Please stop. That's ridiculous. Still, though, I mean, what a round from Reprieve. He just runs into the smoke as he realizes the push is about to happen, and you know, Shocks does fall, so he didn't get any value from that op. This time, though, not a glass cannon, and it's more weapons. Fiend actually has one of his own. That's actually kind of a crazy decision here on the attack side to go for
I think
it.
it's just a counter op. He's just trying to op-diff this guy. Outdo him. Provide that pressure. I imagine we'll see Goodfellas play very slow as a result. Set up Fiend for success. Let this guy try and get a pick to open things up for you. Wind Smoke should cover Shock's POV, but it's not the op to open up. It's Zerk to find cheat code instead, and Fiend does trade back.
He's dinked. He's dinked, so that it worked out. They actually pushed 3 down a long. Wow. That's the value of having an op. It's like they could do things like that where they don't need a man on a specific area because they just have one op, you know?
Yeah.
So they get a little bit of damage done with the A lobby push. They fall back. Both sides actually got dinked as well. Fiend here that you're watching on your screen, and then Reprieve playing in the smoke outside of B. Oh, he's gonna push it against Spectres.
Feels like a bit of a blunder. And look at this. T-Dog has walked up towards A. The 1 HP player has that operator, so it's not even too much of a worry. And T-Dog might even continue fighting towards spawn. There's a 1v1 set up here, but he has the discipline. We'll chill out, wait for the team. And I love that they're taking this dry. They're not showing face just yet. That dart should reveal, so rotates can start to come through eventually, they'll be slow, and there's still a lurk mid.
Don't forget they still have Fiend with the op 2 coming in really, really late. If they want to.
Standing ahead.
Has to spend a dart for the smoke. I mean, it makes sense given how much both sides have been playing the smokes. Let's
Do they
force him
save
back.
this?
Streets with the cam, that's definitely an option. Seth coming in with the flank. Never mind, it's not. This flank is much, much better time than the ones that were coming in from the Mozzie members on the attack side, and he makes it work. Street's gonna find one though. But this recon bolt should confirm. What they already know is that there's no chance in this, at least for them to go for it. Shock saves the op though, and that's the key factor.
Op stays alive. I honestly would have liked to see them just sacrifice that Bulldog, keep another rifle into the next, because the money's not going to be looking good.
You're not a Bulldog fan?
I'm not a Bulldog fan. I mean, maybe save it too, but they do commit. I'm not surprised that the Mozzie members commit to it. They have been pretty consistently this game. Op does find one shot, but it's an impactless frag. It's after the round's pretty much already confirmed. And again, just good fellas, strong in the mid round. They find that walk up for T-Dog off of a lot of pressure towards mid, and it's an easy post plant there on out.
God's gonna confirm anybody pushing close. And actually might give him false information because it pushes in towards grass too, but I guess it's the same type of information that you're trying to figure out. And the camera confirms anyways. Only gun on the side of Mozzie members, I believe, is that op, and it's trained down A long. Fiend still has his too, so that might actually come to a head.
T-Dog holding in towards C-Long here. That cam kind of holding for deep garage, so that won't see him, at least not yet. And they're trying to work this walk up here. Drone, first point of initiation. Jump peak is spotted. It's trying to deal with this drone. Will it see the Cypher? Looks like that's a huge chunk of information. They know that I think 3 people are here, so they'll rotate off, but it's a Hunter's Fury first. Might just convert the frag. That it will. Cypher is down. They're making this run towards A, so it leaves it on to the hands of the Jet. The operator in hand. Can he get it done?
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh.
Prime finds him. Shock's still here. Up short, he's gonna peek. Still has his dash! What a shot! And he's out. Gonna follow up with the run it back too. Cheat code tries to put down the fragmentation grenade, and that actually does deny Shock, so no value from that. But a 4 versus 3 on this. Venture with a Guardian. Taking it to Shocks. Oh, that actually takes him out. He's so good on these. Every time, and another Guardian shot, but still 2 for him to play with. Okay, this is for the ace. With a Guardian, there's a flash. He turns it, but it's not fast enough. Zerk is too quick. He'll get the 8th. He's going to be able to get the op as well.
Wow. Huge round out of the Mozzie Mambas there. They were just looking pretty strong on the retake. I mean, obviously it comes so close to the clutch, but it is denied in the end by Zerk. Op recovered, like you mentioned. And I like that run back, right? Like, we take this initial shot, you find the Hunter's Fury tag on to the Cypher there, and are able to connect the kill. But then, like, Shocks, I think, wins this round. That was the most important kill for me, that he finds that one. It buys time for his teammates to rotate on over. Doesn't really give an opportunity for a strong post plant to be set up, and it's able to be converted. Reset for the Goodfellas economy. Looks like they're trying to take this in towards C. That operator is still trained on A, which I think is interesting, that they're not kind of varying where they play this, but this is what it is. They'll still have the Cypher set up here to try and contend with this play. My question is, looks like they're just going to pop out of the smoke. Yeah, contact up, use that pop flash, fight your way out.
One recon bolt coming in. Over the top. Fiend had the Spectre, but he's just short. But they do lose streets. Reprieve getting spammed through the smoke too. Almost got through with the recon bolts. And Fiend does recover the gun eventually. Only doing a little bit of damage. They still have control of garage, but no flanks coming in from A long. Everybody's in the back of sight though. Rick Dad's finding one. They're pushing it. Little tunnel vision though. Rick Dad will trade even though. And nice shot. Okay, all up to Shocks. He has the op. Trades to the Vandal. 1v1. He's on the site and he doesn't know. Back-to-back thrifties, I think, even though last time they did have the op in the round, so it wasn't exactly a thrifty. This time was fully and a well-executed pop, just like you called out.
And I mean, the information they had that deep recon bolt. They were able to capitalize it incredibly well. They find that weapon, it goes huge. I mean, I thought that was going to be winnable for the Mozzie members because the pace they were taking, right? They instantly re-cleared in towards Crush. They had so much space for which to mount that retake, but Goodfellas, just great with the Sheriffs. Isolate those duels, shut it on down, and when we're this deep into the game, into what could be the final map of this series, that's just something you can't let slip away from you.
I like it. Notice how they walk the entire way back and then instantly all start running together? That's because they know their range is far enough for them not to hear. They're going to have a free C site. The suppression comes in, but they're going to realize very quickly that there's nothing here. And what that's going to tell them is that there's going to be an A flank. There's going to be somebody down long C. Because they realize that everybody went back towards A. You see, instantly Fiend is trained on the angle.
And that's the knives as well. That was the most dangerous weapon to take out of the server here. And look at the setup for this knife. This will really stunt the retake. No utility to work with. And no, they're just pushing straight on out. T-Dog trying to hold, finds the first. Cheat Dog as well. Cheat Dog, that's not quite his name, but both these players working in conjunction. You could almost call them that. It's a flawless round.
It's that duo. They've been so good. Cheat Dog. I mean, that is
They're working together, man.
They really are. I mean, they really are. Time and time again. Look at this cross. One on default, pushing the logs right as T-Dog takes contact. I mean, if that's not working together, if you don't ship them immediately, I don't know what to tell you.
That's Cheat Dog. That's all it is. Pounds away. Closing the series out with a nice quick 3-2-0. Mozzie members, what will their reply be? Operator's still up for Shocks. I want to see this guy take the up a little more aggressive. He's been playing these pretty passive lines towards A, generally just holding down, and that means he hasn't found the opportunities early on. So maybe a chance to change it up. They're leaving. It's a full retake play, but he's ulting spawn. No, cancels it out.
That's when you're almost just like, yeah, I just don't want this ult. Let me just waste it real quick. It did actually cause Reprieve to go all the way into spawn and check, though. Funny interaction there. Dude, they're so scared now. Look.
Yeah, they're rotating like crazy.
They have to check back gong. They have to check everything. They're like, wait, what the heck? Oh, that's hilarious.
Cypher setup is built for this, though. For leaving A up to this retake. It's off that run it back, and oh my god, what a shot. Reprieve just plucked out of the window. Spike is still leaning A side. Will this pull rotates even further? Because that could be crucial. Shock still holding. Trying to contain possible play up towards Garage. He has the angle to shut down cheat code. The question is, will they go over peek it?
Oh. Not only this, but Goodfellas is working them this round. I mean, talk about a useless ult, like an ult that seems useless at first glance, completely changing the way the round is playing. He's on A. Falls back eventually anyways. Shocks is in the back of sight. Zerk's here as well. Hold on a second. This is not going as intended. 12 seconds left. They got to get the spike down. Goodfellas. There's two players here. Shocks! He goes through with the smoke. But it's only one remaining, and they're going to get the spike down eventually anyways. Looks like we might be going to match point. Streets is not going to be able to hold off a little longer, and this is dire now. I don't know what happened in the final seconds of that round, but this becomes dire. Their eco should be shot.
Oh, that's not what you want to see. It's match point. It's tournament point. Everything on the line right here, right now. What they have to muster. Bulldogs, everything. I mean, the mind games are just getting played so well, Bala. They just ult on in. It does nothing, like you say, but then they have to clear everything. They're so paranoid. They're so worried. And it almost loses the round for him. There's an opportunity for a play to be made there, but it just doesn't happen. Little bit too much time on the clock. Shocks now has an opportunity with the op. Finally, he's able to find an opener. This could be it. They only need 4 rounds to take it to overtime. It's still a possibility.
They're going for it again. He picked up the op and went for it for a second time. Has to use his dash to get out. Knife now, we're not really going to do much, although he could be ulted here. I'm surprised he didn't because he's suppressed. Here it comes. The run it back coming in from Zerk, though. He's in the back of sight. Shocks is gone. He couldn't updraft away. Zerk coming in instantly gets denied. And even though there was an opening pick, it looks like things might actually end up going drastically in the other way. Mozzie Members has to fight with 3 against 4. Post-plant retake to hold on to the series. Keep their dreams alive of playing on Breeze one time in the tournaments. All 3 coming in from spawn. The flash is good from Cheat Code, but it's a trade. Unfortunately, Zerk is quick. T-Dog still on the site anchoring. Seth is there. Ventures all the way back. No Hunter's Fury now, but maybe Shock Darts to play for. Still clearing the back site. Nice smoke here from T-Dog to play off of. And yeah, there it is. A shot from Venture, a shot from Seth at the same time as T-Dog pushes in. Goodfellas are your champions of the PAX Arena Almost Pro after beating and winning a 3-0.
They will take home that entire, well, not the entire, but the lion's share of that $10,000 prize pool. It was just a really well-played grand finals from them. Overall, it was just looking clean. The mid-round calling was perfect. Came super duper close on that second map, and it looked like there was an opportunity here on the third. But, I mean, looking back at it, this is a team ball where it felt like every single member had their game, had their moment. T-Dog, he was Mr. Ascent. Venture going huge in this one. Cheat Code consistent. Fiend and Seth especially huge on that first map. Like, everyone had their moment to shine. And it just felt like it was a team that was more experienced, more structured than their opponents. And that's not to diss on the Mozzie Members. They definitely got outclassed a little bit today, but they're still a team with a lot of potential. And big props to them for making it this deep and for making these maps so close.
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, you talk about grits, like VALORANT is known to say over and over about this team. He's right. And that's the reason why they were in the grand finals. The reason why they were able to take out Zero Marksman and actually make these games close, too, because you remember, we were like Ascent, not look good for them at the start. They managed to bring that back to OT. Icebox, you know, they followed through a little bit and then ended up falling short on defense. But either way, Goodfellas, I think definitely turned at least my perception of them. That's my first time watching this team, and I think that they definitely have the chance to make it in a deep place in this community.
Yeah, I think so, absolutely. It's a team that has a lot of players that have never really had their chance on a roster that's really shining and finding consistent success, but now here they are, winning a tournament, taking home a ton of money to try and make something happen. So you really do love to see it for this Goodfellas squad, but that about does it for me and you, Bala. I mean, personally, it was fantastic to be a part of this event. So many teams that I kind of knew nothing about going in, and we got to see them make these deep runs, make these huge plays. It's just been a great experience.
Yeah, that it has. I mean, over, I think, a couple of weeks, or a week as well, and they've been playing through group stages, and a lot of people playing in this, and now to end up coming out on top, it definitely feels good. There's you know, a lot to be said about a tournament like this, and I'm definitely happy to be a part of it. Great to cast with you as well. That was a lot of fun for sure. Hopefully in the future we get to do it again. Maybe some of these guys too. Goodfellas looking up and looking bright.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it has been a fun one overall. To close us out for the PAX Almost Pro 10K, we'll throw it right on back.
After 3 rock-solid games, at the end of it all, the Goodfellas, the robber barons, the kings of organized crime, they managed to take a solid 3-0. Kuro, we thought that this could be the potential outcome, and while there were some twists and turns, Goodfellas were able to deliver.
Definitely, and for that last map, I mean, it was just aim at that point. I think because we were just watching, we were just letting the game wash over us, and that's kind of all it came down to in the end.
I definitely agree. The clutch factor definitely felt apparent to me for Goodfellas, and it also just seemed they kind of had this at-will effectiveness. When they really wanted to win around, they just kind of had this added zeal, and whoever was still alive just turned into absolute superheroes, which leads me to a question. Now, we've started up the Sheesh Award, Curry.
Yeah.
An award that we grant to a player for exemplary performance. Maybe it's DPS, maybe it's KDA, maybe whatever the metric is. Who's your Sheesh Award member?
Oh, you're making me go first. Okay.
Oh yeah, of course.
So my Sheesh Award is going to T-Dog. Did you expect that? Because for T-Dog, I mean, he was playing Viper,
Curry, you there?
playing Brim, and he was playing Omen, and I mean, he had clutches on every single one, right? We had the Viper's Pit that we talked about in the first map. Second map, it's going to be those Brimstone Orbital Strikes that I mentioned. And then third map, it's just going to be Omen doing Omen things. With those, I feel like he had like 2 clutches that map too.
Okay. You know, we were talking about this, and I was like, I'm not going to tell you. You don't tell me. And we were very close. So I thought to also give T-Dog the Sheesh Award. And I'm sure right now he's naked and rolling in the money. Congratulations on the $3,000 out of the 10K prize pool. But for me, I have to give the Sheesh Award to Fiend. And the reason why I do that is not only is he just generally a beast in terms of overall offense, but anytime you saw Fiend with an operator in a round, like a hush fell over everything else.
Yeah.
Like he would get one of the first kills in a round, and you would see Fiend and that operator in the top right corner of the screen, and everyone else in the Mozzie members was just on notice. In terms of just having and establishing impact, anytime Fiend was able to really, set things up and get the round that he wanted to with the operator, the Goodfellas looked pretty much unstoppable. So for me, my Sheesh Award goes over to Fiend, but everyone played really well. Everyone stepped up. So congratulations all around. But Kurt, do you have any final thoughts for us over on the grand finals?
I mean, all I was gonna say is Fiend was my second nominee for the Sheesh Award. So we're definitely on the same wavelength here.
We're on the same page. We're on the same page, Kurt. Thank you very much. Thanks for being on the analyst desk here with me. Thanks for giving me insights and stuff. You've done an amazing job of helping me get further acclimated to competitive Valorant. So thank you very much, and thanks to everyone that I've had the pleasure to work with. In terms of final thoughts for me as we wind down for the rest of the tournament, I want to say everyone did an incredible job, not only in terms of players, but in front of and behind the cameras. Thanks to everyone for being involved. I always try to take a moment to thank production, so I'm going to go down the list. We got Furtive, A Evil Cat, Balla, CJ, Daydreams, Obs Beast, Goomer, JJ, Luke, Nola Nova, Hithian, and Sudi. Thanks for everything that you guys have done. This was an amazing show. I had a lot of fun. Can't wait to see what you guys end up doing next. But we're going to take off for now. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, guys. Take it easy, and congrats to the Goodfellas.